action here in the 2016 season. Playing a doubleheader today because of Friday's rainout. Game 1, the makeup from that game, and Game 2, the regularly scheduled game that was supposed to be played today. So we get 7 innings twice today between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show. Coming up here on the Wild Things pregame show, we'll give you a recap of last night's loss. Wild Things unfortunately dropping Game 1 of this series by a score of 6-5. So we'll have all the recap and scoring in that game for you. Also going to be joined by Wild Things reliever Christian Powell. Powell making his Wild Things debut last night through 2 perfect innings in that debut, so we'll talk about that outing. And then transition from minor league baseball to independent league baseball here now with the Washington Wild Things. Also going to have the lineups for you and the pitching matchup. It's all coming up right here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Now, last night, as we said, the Wild Things unfortunately losing to the Windy City Thunderbolts in Game 1 of this 3-game series. Windy City got the scoring off right away. Coco Johnson singled to lead things off before Tim Zierer would strike out. Johnson doubled to lead things off. Then Corey Bass reached on an error, putting runners at first and third with just one man out before Charlie Thurber came through with an RBI single. Coco Johnson scored, and Windy City took a 1-0 lead. Next batter, Blair Beck, would fly out, and then Johnny Ironman struck out to end the inning. So after 1, it was 1-0 Windy City. Then going on to the bottom of inning number 2, Windy City back on the board. Cody Kiefer took the 4th pitch of the inning over the right field wall. A solo shot, his 4th home run of the year. That gave Windy City a 2-0 lead. Then Larry Balkwill would strike out before Taylor Smart would single. Then with 1 out, Smart would steal second base and move up to third on a wild pitch. So that put a runner at third with 1 man out before Coco Johnson hit a sacrifice fly to right field. Taylor Smart came in to score. That gave Windy City 3-0 lead. Next batter, Tim Zierer, would ground out to end the inning. Wild Things got their first shot on the board in the top of inning number 3. Austin Wobrock started out the inning with a single. First of 2 hits for Wobrock on the day. Then Andrew Heck came through with an RBI double. Wobrock came around to score. That made the score 3-1 Windy City. It was Heck's 11th RBI of the season. Next batter, Chris Grayson, came up, and he promptly delivered a ground ball at the middle, scoring Andrew Heck. That made it 3-2 for Grayson. That was his 12th RBI of this season. Ricky Rodriguez would then fly out. Dave Popkins would strike out. And then with 2 outs, Alvaro Gonzalez and Kyle Pollock back-to-back walks before Justin Garcia popped out to end the inning. So going to the bottom of the 3rd, and after 3 innings of play, it was 3-3. As the Washington Wild Things would eventually take the lead in this ball game, leading by 4-3 after Andrew Heck's 2nd RBI double in the top of the 6th. Walked to start the inning. Then Heck doubled Wobrock home. That made the score 4-3 Wild Things. Chris Grayson would then fly out, and Ricky Rodriguez would strike out to end the inning. On to the bottom of the 6th. Wild Things had their first lead of the day. Luke Wilkins pitching with a lead in this one. But things would not start out right in the 6th inning. Charlie Thurber led things off with a single. However, the ball was lined up the middle off the glove of Luke Wilkins. Shortstop Austin Wobrock tried to make the recovery on the ball. However, his throw went into the Wild Things dugout. That allowed Thurber to get to second with nobody out in that bottom of the 6th inning. Then Blair Beck would strike out looking before Johnny Ironman singled to put runners at first and third with 1 man out. That would be the end of the day for Luke Wilkins. Devin Davis came in to relieve Luke Wilkins out of the bullpen. First man Davis faces is Cody Kiefer, and Cody delivers an RBI single. That scores Charlie Thurber and makes the score 4-4 between the Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Next batter, Larry Balkwill, would run a throwing error by shortstop Austin Wobrock. That would load the bases with 1 man out before Taylor Smart hit a sacrifice fly. Johnny Ironman came in to score, and that gave Windy City the lead once more. It was 5-4 with 2 outs in that bottom of the 6th inning. Next batter, Coco Johnson, would reach on a throwing error by Ricky Rodriguez at third base. That loaded the bases with 2 men out before Tim Zierer would walk to bring in another run in this ball game. That made it 6-4 Windy City. Then Corey Bass went into a fielder's choice to end the inning. So it was 6-4 Windy City Thunderbolts after 6 innings of play. Then Christian Powell came out of the bullpen for the Washington Wild Things. He was great through 2 perfect innings, striking out 3 in his Wild Things debut. His other 3 outs, 2 fly balls, and 1 ground out on the day. Wild Things tried to fight back in this one, down 6-4 going into the top of the 9th. Andrew Heck struck out. Chris Grayson singled. Ricky Rodriguez doubled to put runners at second and third with 1 out. Hopkins hit a sacrifice fly. That scored Grayson and made the score 6-5. It was Hopkins' 41st RBI of the year. However, with the Wild Things starting a rally, Alvaro Gonzalez would ground out to end the game. Winning pitcher in last night's ball game, Austin Delmott. Delmott only threw a third of an inning. Butts and starter Kyle Von Ruden did not go the necessary 5 to get the win. It is Delmott who picks up the win in this one, and the loss going to Luke Wilkins. Wilkins goes to 2-6 on the year. Brian Lokensall picked up his 6th save of the year in yesterday's ball game, allowing 1 run in that 9th inning. Final line for Luke Wilkins yesterday, 5 1/3, gave up 5 runs. All those runs earned on 5 hits, walked 1 and struck out 6. But Wilkins pitched much better than his line suggested. Had a rough first and second inning, but third, fourth, and fifth inning were fabulous. Got 1, 2, 3 innings in both the third and the fifth. Only faced 4 men in inning number 4. And the bottom of the sixth, started out good for him as he left with 2 men on, but the bullpen just not able to hold it down for him. So Wilkins pitching a lot better than that 5 1/3, 5 runs would suggest. However, it's the same result as he falls to 2-6 on the season. Wild Things looking to bounce back here in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Game 1 of today's doubleheader with the Windy City Thunderbolts. We're going to take our first break here on the MSA Sports Network's Washington Wild Things pregame show. When we come back, we're going to have our sit-down with Christian Powell. Keep it tuned right here to the MSA Sports Network for more coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA at any nearby office or online. AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show, getting you ready for this doubleheader between your Washington Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Currently joined by one of the newest Wild Things reliever, Christian Powell. And Christian, last night you made your Wild Things debut. Threw 2 perfect innings out of the bullpen. What was that like for you to get into action here in the Frontier League and have an outing like that?
It's pretty exciting. It's been a while since I've been in a real game setting. It's probably close to a year. So it was good just getting that first one out of the way, get a little adrenaline rush, just trying to give us a chance to come back in the game late.
And what were your feelings when you first got that call from the Wild Things saying you're going to be a part of the team this year?
It was exciting knowing that I had a chance to play again, because especially since I had just finished rehab, so I didn't even get a chance to come back in the game to have the chance to just see what I had after I come back from the injury.
And you pitched 5 seasons in minor league baseball, both for the Minnesota Twins and the Houston Astros. What do you bring from that experience here to the Frontier League with the Wild Things?
I just take a little bit from mostly each organization, just like little things, workouts, the way you just be a professional. It's just to come out here and just take it day by day and just know that it's on you at the end of the day. It's not what the team tells you to do. Like, you're responsible for yourself, and that's just the most important thing.
Currently joined by reliever Christian Powell. And Christian, what'd you see on the mound out there from the Windy City Thunderbolts that you can take into the rest of your appearances here in Independent League Baseball, that first time out?
Well, I saw that if you can get ahead, you can put them away with late fastballs and blow by them a little bit and breaking balls in the dirt, get them to chase if you can. If you get ahead with strikes, then you're in the zone.
And finally, you have Zach Groats on the mound tonight. I know you haven't been with the team for long, but what tips would you give him going out there tonight facing this team?
Just get ahead, stay ahead.
Thanks, Christian. Good luck today.
Thank you.
We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, ready for baseball here at Standard Bank Stadium in Crestwood, Illinois. The Windy City Thunderbolts are on the field right now. They align like this defensively. Outfield left to right, Coco Johnson, Blair Beck, and Charlie Thurber. Left side of the infield will be held down by Taylor Smart and Ransom Lalonde. Right side by Tim Zier and Kyle Wood. Behind the plate, Larry Balkwill. Catching today's starter, Brady Muller. Muller comes in this one with a record of 3-7, a 3.79 ERA. Appearing in his 14th game, making his 14th start. He's thrown 78 in the third innings of work, giving up 34 runs, 33 of those earned on 62 hits, 62 strikeouts, and 30 walks on the year for righty Brady Muller. The lineup he'll face for your Washington Wild Things looks like this. They'll lead off with their center fielder, Andrew Heck, batting second at shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Hitting third, designated hitter Ricky Rodriguez. Batting fourth in right field, Dave Popkins. Hitting fifth at third, Alvaro Gonzalez. Batting sixth and catching, Kyle Pollock. Hitting seventh at first base, Justin Garcia. Batting eighth and left, Grant Fink. And batting ninth at second base, Jamadric Magruder. On the mound for your Wild Things, making his first start for the Wild Things this season, is right-hander Zach Groats. Groats enters this one with a record of 3-2, 10 saves on the year, and a 1.11 ERA. Ready for baseball here in the top of the first. Andrew Heck making his way to the plate to start things off. Heck so far in the year hitting .260, no home runs, and 12 RBIs. Brady Muller looks in, has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Heck takes his first one inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. First pitch today thrown at 4:02 p.m. Eastern Time. Temperature outside, 88 degrees. First pitch time and temperature brought to you by State Line Grocery and Hotspot. That next pitch in there on the inside corner for a strike. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Andrew Heck playing in center field today, giving Chris Grayson the night off. Here's the 1-1, and this one popped foul back behind the seats behind home plate, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brady Muller jumping out ahead of Andrew Heck here in the first, and that's something we saw Kyle Von Ruden struggle with late in his outing, and that caused him to only go 4 2/3. So for Muller today, hoping he can stay out in front for Windy City. The 1-2, that one bounces on the inside corner of the plate, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. For the Wild Things, Brady Muller, 62 strikeouts and 30 walks on the year in his 78 and a third innings of work, so he's going to strike you out. Just make sure you don't get deep in counts and swing at his pitches in the zone. Here's the 2-2 offering, and this one grounded foul off to the left. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. And for Andrew Heck, his game all year in the leadoff spot really has been working that opposing starting pitcher, make him throw a lot of pitches, gas him early, and hopefully get to this Windy City Thunderbolts bullpen. Yesterday, Windy City was forced to use 5 of their bullpen guys, so hoping the Wild Things can tire him out today. The 2-2, and that one's fouled off by Andrew Heck. Just got a piece of that one on the outside corner, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good piece of hitting there by Andrew Heck, getting that one just off the end of the bat and being able to stay alive here against Brady Muller. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Muller looking into his catcher, Larry Balkwill, has his sign. He's set in the 2-2. And Heck takes this one low for a ball. Count now goes full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Heck working the count full here in the first at-bat against Brady Muller. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. And this is a very good at-bat for Andrew Heck so far. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And this ball lined to left center field, and that'll fall in for a base hit. An H-pitch single for Andrew Heck. Broke his bat on that swing, in fact, as he throws the handle back to the dugout. He'll be on to lead off the game. Very good at bat there by Andrew Heck. And that brings to the plate the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far in the year hitting .222, 1 home run, and 15 RBIs. So Heck gets this game started off with a leadoff single. Very good at bat there. An 8-pitch at bat for Heck, fouling off some tough pitches and able to stay alive against the left-hander Brady Muller. So Wobrock stepping in, lefty-on-lefty matchup. Andrew Heck takes his lead from first. Muller looks in, has his sign, checks Heck over there, and a throw over, and Andrew Heck gets back in. Heck on the season, 6 stolen bases for your Washington Wild Things. That's good to be tied for second on this team. He's tied with the current batter, Austin Wobrock. Muller's pitch to Wobrock, and this one lined on the left field line. It's hooking, and it'll go into the seats foul, so the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things shortstop Wobrock, batting in that number 2 spot tonight. He's been switching recently between hitting 2 and hitting number 9. He's been thriving down lower in the order, trying to bring that bat to the top of the lineup. The 0-1, and Wobrock takes this one high for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, Brady Muller, 30 walks in his 78 and a third innings of work. So pretty high walk numbers, looking to keep that down as the Wild Things try to take advantage. The 1-1, and that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Andrew Heck starts the game with a leadoff single for your Wild Things. He's over at first base. Muller has his sign and a throw over there, and Andrew Heck getting back in. Heck breaking his bat on that first hit of the ball game. For Brady Muller, his last time out a loss, even though he went 7 innings against Evansville, giving up 3 runs. A 2-1. This one lined back behind the stadium, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Muller, decent start last time, just lost 3-2 to Evansville. And the start before that against River City went 5 and did not give up a run in that ball game. So Muller coming off of 2 pretty good starts for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Muller has his sign, checks the runner at first, and the pitch on the way. And a swing and a miss there by Wobrock. He strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the top of the first. 1 man out for your Washington Wild Things, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far on the year for the Wild Things, hitting .308 with 5 home runs and 25 RBIs. 1 man out here in the top of the first. Andrew Heck leading things off with a single. He is at first base, taking his lead over there. Brady Muller looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And Rodriguez ground ball to third. Taylor Smart handles it on a hop. Throw to second. Now not a play there. Throw to first. And it gets away from the first baseman. Rodriguez safe. Andrew Heck will move up to third. So a throwing error there for Taylor Smart. And that throw goes into the Wild Things dugout. That puts Rodriguez at second. And the Wild Things taking advantage of an error there by the Windy City Thunderbolts. E5 allows Rodriguez to get to second. Andrew Heck to third. Now there's runners at second and third with 1 man out. Now on that play is a very slow roller to third base on a hop. Taylor Smart handled, checked second, saw he had no play there, and then just tried to rush the throw over to first, threw it in the dirt, and first baseman Kyle Wood unable to pick that ball. Dave Popkins comes to the plate now. Popkins so far in the year, 289, 11 home runs, and 41 RBIs. Muller has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Popkins takes this one in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Popkins leads his team with 11 home runs and 41 RBIs on the year. Has 2 runners in scoring position right now. Muller has his sign, the 0-1. And Popkins takes this one inside and low. Blocked back there by Larry Balkwill. And the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Balkwill actually the backup catcher for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Corey Bass sitting out this game 1 of the doubleheader. Most likely see him in game 2. Playing 7 here today at Standard Bank Stadium in this game 1 of a doubleheader between your Wild Things and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Muller has his sign, the 1-1. And a swing and a miss there by Popkins, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Last night for Dave Popkins in this game 1, struck out twice in the ball game. Has had some struggles at the plate recently, trying to work through them and get runs in here. Muller's 1-2 offering, and Popkins takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 on the Wild Things right fielder. Popkins has only missed 1 game for your Wild Things this season. That was back in Lake Erie on June the 12th. Brady Muller has his sign, the 2-2 offering. And Popkins lines this one down the right field line. It's hooking and will go foul past the Wild Things bullpen and into the corner. The count remains 2-2. Popkins trying to keep that one fair. Unfortunately, it hooked down that right field line and landed in foul territory. Runners are at second and third. Andrew Heck, the runner at third, and Ricky Rodriguez, the runner over at second base. Brady Muller looking in, going to his signs. Has one he likes. He's set in the 2-2. And Popkins takes this one outside, so the count goes full. Second full count of the inning for Brady Muller, as it's 3 balls and 2 strikes on Dave Popkins. 3-2, 1 man out. Alvaro Gonzalez, the on-deck hitter. Brady Muller has his sign. He's set in the 3-2. And that one hits Dave Popkins on the foot. Gets away from Brady Muller, so Popkins will go to first on the hit by pitch. 7-pitch at bat there for Dave Popkins, and that'll bring to the plate Alvaro Gonzalez with the bases full of Wild Things and just 1 man out. Gonzalez so far on the year is hitting .273, no home runs, and 2 RBIs. This is his 4th game as a Washington Wild Thing. Wild Things at the bases loaded. Andrew Heck at third, Ricky Rodriguez at second, Dave Popkins at first, and Gonzalez coming to the plate. Last night, Gonzalez was the DH, and it was his first game as a Wild Thing where he didn't drive in a run. Drove in at least 1 run in each of his first 2 games on the team. Brady Muller looking into his catcher, Balkwill, going through the signs. Has one he likes. He's set, and the pitch on the way. And Gonzalez fouls this one back to the screen. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wild Things trying to score early here against Windy City. Bases are full with 1 man out. Game 1 of this doubleheader. Trying to get their starter, Zach Grote, to lead. Brady Muller has his sign, the 0-1. And Gonzalez takes this one high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Brady Muller's had to work here in this inning through 8 pitches to the first batter, Andrew Heck, 5 to Wobrock, 1 to Rodriguez, and 7 to Popkins. Has his sign, the 1-1. And Gonzalez towards short diving play, and Lalone can't get it. Heck will score. Rodriguez coming to the plate, and it gets by Coco Johnson. Popkins is going to be waved around. Alvaro Gonzalez heading to third, and he will be in there. He has cleared the bases, and in the bottom of the first, it is 3-0 Washington Wild Things. We'll see. They're going to give an error to Coco Johnson on that one, so it's going to be a 3 RBI double for Alvaro Gonzalez, and the Wild Things take the early lead in this one. It is 3-0. Alvaro Gonzalez driving in all 3 runs and getting that one past the diving shortstop Lalone. That'll bring to the plate the catcher Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far on the year is hitting .237 with 2 home runs and 10 RBIs. Pollock stepping in. Gonzalez takes his lead from third. Here's Muller's pitch. And Pollock takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. 3 more RBIs for Alvaro Gonzalez in this game. Now has 5 RBIs in the year as a Wild Thing. Muller's 0-1 offering. And Pollock hits this one towards center field. On comes Blair Beck, and he's not going to get it. Gonzalez will come in to score. It's an RBI single for Kyle Pollock. And now in the top of the first, the Wild Things have scored 4. They take a 4-0 lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. A 3 RBI double by Alvaro Gonzalez, followed by an RBI single by Kyle Pollock. It's now 4-0, and that'll bring out to the mound the pitching coach, Will Flint, for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Back-to-back RBI hits for your Washington Wild Things. Alvaro Gonzalez, his double getting by the outstretched glove of Ransom Lalonde at short. That allowed all 3 runs to score as the ball got by the left fielder, Coco Johnson. Johnson got an error on the play, and it's 4-0 Windy City Thunderbolts. Stepping into the plate right now, Justin Garcia. Garcia so far on the year, hitting .167, no home runs, no RBIs, playing in his 3rd game as a Washington Wild Thing. Kyle Pollock, the runner at first. Your Wild Things have scored 4 runs here in this first inning of play. Muller has his sign, checks the runner at first. Here's the pitch, and that one's in there for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Justin Garcia. Brady Muller gives up 4 here in the first inning. Only 3 of those 4 runs will be earned. Muller has his sign check second, first the 0-1, and that one's on the outside corner as well. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on Justin Garcia. 1 man out, top of the first. Wild Things trying to keep adding on. They scored 4 runs in the inning so far. Muller has his sign, the 0-2 pitch. And Garcia takes this one outside, wisely laying off there. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Brady Muller roughed up here in the first inning. Wild Things have a 4-0 lead in this top of the first. Garcia is the 7th man to come to the plate here in this inning. Batting left-handed is at first base because Jimmy Yezzo trying to come back from an ankle injury. Muller has his sign. He set checks first. And the 1-2. And a swing and a miss. Justin Garcia strikes out. 2nd strikeout for Brady Muller on the day. And they're now 2 away here in the top of the first. That'll bring to the plate the left fielder, Grant Fink. Fink so far in the year, hitting .186, 8 home runs, and 17 RBIs. Those 17 RBIs currently good for 4th on the team, and his 8 home runs are good for 3rd in that category. Kyle Pollock takes his lead from first. Muller has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. Pollock takes off for second. Here's the throw down by Balkwell, and it's not in time. Pollock in there with a stolen base, a throwing error by Balkwell, and that'll move Pollock up to third. So it's a stolen base for Kyle Pollock, and then an E2 allows him to get up to third base. It's the 3rd error in the inning for the Windy City Thunderbolts. That throw by Larry Balkwell to the right side of the second base bag. Tim Zier did all he could do to try to rein that ball in, but it hit off the tip of his glove and rolled into center field. That allowed Pollock to get to third. So now there's a runner at third with 2 men out. 0-1 count to Fink. Here's the pitch. And that one swung on a miss, and the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on Grant Fink. With 2 men out in this top of the first, Wild Things have scored 4 in the inning and have an early 4-0 lead over Windy City. Here's Muller's 0-2 pitch, and Fink grounds this one foul off to the left, so the count will remain no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on Grant Fink. Fink getting a chance out in left field today, with Chris Grayson getting game 1 off in center field. Andrew Heck out there for him. Muller has his sign, the 0-2, and Fink takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, Grant Fink trying to do a good piece of 2-out hitting here and bring his man home from third. Muller has his sign. He's set in the 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Grant Fink strikes out, and that will end the inning. However, the Wild Things get 4 runs in the inning on 3 hits, 3 errors in the inning, and 1 man left on base. After a half inning of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Windy City Thunderbolts coming to bat. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going to the bottom of the first, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Windy City Thunderbolts nothing. Wild Things on the field right now. They align like this defensively. Outfield left to right, Grant Fink, Andrew Heck, and Dave Popkins. Left side of the infield held down by Alvaro Gonzalez and Austin Wobrock. Right side by Jamadrick Magruder and Justin Garcia. Behind the plate today is Kyle Pollock catching the starter, Zach Groats. Groats so far in the year, 3-2, 10 saves, a 1.11 ERA, appearing in his 29th game, making his first start of the season. He's thrown 40 in the third innings of work, giving up 6 runs, 5 earned on 26 hits, 8 walks, and 45 strikeouts. The lineup he'll face for the Windy City Thunderbolts looks like this. They'll lead off with their left fielder, Coco Johnson, batting second at second base. Tim Zier hitting third, designated hitter, Cody Kiefer, batting fourth in right field, Charlie Thurber, hitting fifth at shortstop, Ransom Lalonde, batting sixth at first base, Kyle Wood, hitting seventh in center field, Blair Beck, batting eighth and catching, Larry Balkwill, and batting ninth and playing at third base is Taylor Smart. On the mound, as you saw, lefty Brady Muller. Muller enters with a record of 3-7 and a 3.79 ERA. Zach Groats on the mound, making his first start for the Washington Wild Things, his first start in professional baseball here today for your Wild Things against the Windy City Thunderbolts. Making his way to the plate to lead things off against Groats here in the bottom of the first is the left fielder, Coco Johnson. Johnson so far on the year hitting .259, 4 home runs, and 28 RBIs. So Zach Groats, his first start as a Washington Wild Thing, was the closer for this team for a majority of the season, but came out last time through 6 shutout innings in a continuation game against Lake Erie, so gets a shot today on the mound to start the ball game as opposed to ending the ball game. Zach Groats looks into Kyle Pollock going through his signs. Has one he likes. Here's the pitch. And Johnson takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Windy City left fielder, Coco Johnson. Here's Groats 0-1. And this one grounded to the left side. Austin Wobrock will handle it. Throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Thunderbolts. Nice quick out there to start the game for Zach Groats. And when you have this big lead, the Wild Things got him 4 runs in the first inning. Just go out there, pound the strike zone, and trust your defenders, and that's exactly what Zach Groats did there in that at-bat. That'll bring to the plate the second baseman, Tim Zier. Zier so far in the year, hitting .267, no home runs, and 29 RBIs. Groats has his sign as Zier steps in, looking into Pollock. Here's the pitch. And Zier takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the second baseman. Zach Groats, last time, as we said, 6 shutout innings against the Lake Erie Crushers in a continuation game. The 1-0, and that one's a called strike hitting the outside corner. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Now for Zach Groats, has been a very big strikeout pitcher for the Wild Things, 45 strikeouts in 40 and a third innings, but has also been keeping the walks down this year with 8 walks in those same 40 and a third. This pitch fouled off by Tim Zier back to the right, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count, 1 man out, bottom of the first, 4-0 Washington Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts here in Game 1. Zier, the right-handed hitter, facing off against righty Zach Groats. Groats has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2. And this ball grounded softly to the left side. Charging is Gonzalez. Handles on the hop. And his throw to first is high over the head of Justin Garcia. So a throwing error there by Alvaro Gonzalez allows the first base runner of the game for Windy City to reach base E5. First error there for the Washington Wild Things. Tim Zier on base with 1 man out. And that'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Cody Kiefer. Kiefer so far on the year is hitting .247, 4 home runs, and 26 RBIs. Hit his 4th home run of the year in last night's victory over your Washington Wild Things. Runner at first, one man out, bottom of the first. 4-0 Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Groats looking to Kyle Pollock, has his sign, checks the runner at first, and the pitch. And Kiefer takes this one low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Windy City DH. Kiefer was the DH last night as well. Batted down in the number 7 spot in last night's game, up to number 3 here this afternoon. Groats has his sign. He's set in the 1-0. And that one's in there for a strike, hitting the knees. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Cody Kiefer. Lefty on righty matchup. Kiefer, one of 3 lefties in this Windy City Thunderbolts order. Charlie Thurber and Kyle Wood are the other lefties. Groats has his sign, the 1-1. And Kiefer takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 the count. Cody Kiefer, DH. Saw some time in the outfield in the last series between these two teams. Zach Groats checks the runner at first. Tim Zier over there. Zier takes his lead. Groats has his sign and the 2-1. And this one popped up. Left side towards foul territory. Alvaro Gonzalez now out by third. Will be called off by Austin Wolbrock, and Wolbrock will make the catch. That's out number 2. 2 away here for the Thunderbolts in the top of the first, and that brings to the plate the right fielder, Charlie Thurber. Thurber so far in the year hitting .237, 1 home run, and 4 RBIs. 2 men out, bottom of the first. 4-0 Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Tim Zier at first. He reached on a throwing error by Alvaro Gonzalez. Zach Groats looking into Kyle Pollock, has his sign, he's set, checks first, and the pitch on the way. And Thurber takes this one inside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Zach Groats behind Charlie Thurber, got behind the last 2 batters here, but was able to retire Cody Kiefer and had Zier reach on the air. Groats has his sign, checks Zier, and the 1-0. And this one grounded towards the middle. Wolbrock handles it, steps on the second base bag, and that will end the inning. Fielder's choice, 6 unassisted, and the inning is over. No runs in the inning on no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. After 1 inning of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 4, and the Windy City Thunderbolts nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the second, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Windy City Thunderbolts nothing. Last inning for your Washington Wild Things, got all 4 ball game. Andrew Heck started things off with a single, then Austin Wolbrock would strike out before Ricky Rodriguez reached on a 2-base error that would move runners to second and third with 1 man out. Dave Popkins would then be hit by a pitch to load the bases, and the big blow, the 3 RBI double by Alvaro Gonzalez, lined it past the diving shortstop Ransom Lawn. Heck, Rodriguez, and Popkins all came in to score, and the Wild Things took a 3-0 lead in the top of the first. Next batter was Kyle Pollock, and Pollock came through, driving in Alvaro Gonzalez from third with an RBI single of his own. Gonzalez scored, and that made it 4-0 Wild Things. And Justin Garcia and Grant Fink would strike out to end the inning. Due up here in the second, Jamadrick Magruder, Andrew Heck, and Austin Wolbrock, 9-1 and 2 for your Washington Wild Things. Magruder making his way to the plate right now. So far in the year, hitting .190, 1 homer and 5 RBIs. Magruder squares and pulls back in time to take one low and outside. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. The Wild Things sent 8 men to the plate in that first inning against Muller. Here's the 1-0, and this one grounded foul off to the right towards the Wild Things dugout, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Chris Grayson and Ryan Willard having to get out of the way over there in the dugout. Here's the 1-1, and that one's in there for a strike on the inside corner. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Jamadrick Magruder. Nobody out in this top of the second. Magruder trying to get on to lead things off. Muller has his sign, the 1-2. And this one grounded foul off to the right. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jamadrick Magruder getting the start out there today at second base. He's been getting some rest lately, dealing with a hamstring injury that he suffered 2 Sundays ago in Florence, and Grant Fink's been getting time. The 1-2, and that one's outside for a ball. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two here on Jamadric Magruder, batting from the left side against the lefty Muller. Muller's 2-2 offering, and a swing and a miss there as Magruder strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the top of the second. Fourth strikeout for Brady Muller, as all of his outs here in this one have come via the strikeout. That'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far in the day, 1 for 1 with a single, and in last night's game, Andrew Heck ended up going 2 for 5 with 2 RBI doubles, a fielder's choice, and 2 strikeouts. Muller's set. Here's the pitch. And this one lined towards right center field, and that'll get down and middle of the wall. Heck around first, heading to second. They'll gather it out the wall. Heck thinking 3. Here comes the throw, and Andrew Heck is in there with a 1-out triple. Heck's second hit of the game, gets a triple here, single in the first, and there's a runner at third for the Wild Things, and 1 man out. Heck driving that ball to the right center field gap. The right fielder, Charlie Thurber, and the center fielder Blair Beck trying to converge on that one. Neither of them could get to the baseball, and Andrew Heck gets in there at third with 1 man out. Austin Wobrock stepping in. Wobrock so far 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Muller has his sign. Here's the pitch, and that one's taken outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things shortstop. Wobrock in his second year with the Wild Things. In last night's game, Wobrock would bat number 9 and went 2 for 3 with 2 singles, a walk, and a strikeout. Here's the pitch, and this one popped up to left field. Coming in on it is the left fielder, and he'll make the catch, and that's good for out number 2 in the inning. New left fielder on in the game for the Windy City Thunderbolts is now out there is John Williams. Coco Johnson removed from the game. John Williams making that catch for the Windy City Thunderbolts. And there are now 2 men out in the inning for your Washington Wild Things, and that'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far 0 for 1, reached on an error in his first at-bat. Muller looks in, has his sign, he's set. Here's the pitch. And Rodriguez takes this one for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the Wild Things designated hitter. Rodriguez was at third base last night. Alvaro Gonzalez handling third base duties here today. Here's the 0-1, and Rodriguez takes this one low, and it got the home plate umpire in the ankle. Also got Ricky Rodriguez, and home plate umpire Steve Bartelstein is down. That one got him on the ankle. He's on a knee behind home plate, so it hit Ricky Rodriguez and then ricocheted and hit the home plate umpire. So that'll put runners at first and third now with 2 men out. But the concern right now, Steve Bartelstein trying to limp off that hit by pitch, and he's not feeling good right now. Windy City manager Ron Bigga coming out to check on him. Also the Wild Things trainer, Jess Borgen, coming out to check on that ankle as well. So while Steve Bartelstein being attended to, this inning started off with a strikeout by Jamadric Magruder. Then Andrew Heck would triple with 1 man out before Austin Wobrock flew out, and Ricky Rodriguez hit by a pitch. Rodriguez over at first base now for the Washington Wild Things. So the runners at first and third, 2 men out. Dave Popkins will be coming to the plate when we resume play. Steve Bartelstein being checked out by the trainers here, both for the Windy City Thunderbolts and for the Washington Wild Things. Both trainers are out there checking on Bartelstein. We hope he is okay. Umpires for tonight's game, while we're looking at behind home plate, is Bartelstein being checked, and on the base is Chris Viverito. Viverito is behind the plate for last night's ball game. Taking a look at the standings, the Washington Wild Things currently third in the Frontier League, 35 and 39. They're 6 games back of the leading Joliet Slammers. Slammers sit at 42 and 34. Steve Bartelstein will be okay, as he will continue calling this game behind home plate, and that brings to the plate the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far today, no official at-bat, was hit by a pitch in the ankle his first time up. So there's runners at first and third now with 2 men out for your Washington Wild Things. Andrew Heck at third, and Ricky Rodriguez over at first base. Brady Muller has 2 outs here in the top of the second, trying to work through a scoreless inning. Scored 4 off of him in inning number 1. Brady Muller has his sign, checks first, and the pitch on the way. And Popkins grounds this one to third. Smart has it. He'll go the short way to second, and that's in time for out number 3. Fielder's choice 5-4, and that ends the inning. No runs in the inning for the Wild Things on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 1.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Windy City Thunderbolts nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction and socialization opportunities. Go to pucks.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the second, and the score. Your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Windy City Thunderbolts nothing. Last inning for the Windy City Thunderbolts, Coco Johnson grounded out to start things, then Tim Zier reached on a throwing error by Alvaro Gonzalez. So there's a runner at first with one man out. Cody Kiefer popped out, and Charlie Thurber would hit into a fielder's choice to end the inning. Due up here in the second, Ransom Lalonde, Kyle Wood, and Blair Beck, 5, 6, and 7, facing off against right-hander Zach Groats. Groats making his first start of the year as a Washington Wild Thing, has appeared exclusively out of the bullpen this season, was the closer for the Wild Things for a time early in the middle part of the season. 10 saves on the year for Groats on 12 chances, and this is his first start in professional baseball. To go back to see the last time Groats started, you had to go to his senior year of college, where he started 3 games for Embry-Riddle University in the Sun League. So Zach Groats making his first professional start here today for the Washington Wild Things. Stepping in to lead things off against him here in the second is the shortstop, Ransom Lalonde. Lalonde, a late scratch from yesterday's ball game. So far in the year, hitting .254, 2 home runs, and 32 RBIs. Nobody out, bottom of the second, 4-0. Your Washington Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Zach Groats looking into Kyle Pollock here in his second inning of work. Groats has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Lalonde grounding this one to the left side. Diving catch by Alvaro Gonzalez. What a play. And that is out number 1. Quick reaction over there by Gonzalez. Diving to his left and making a very nice catch for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Thunderbolts here in the second. And that'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Kyle Wood. Wood so far in the year hitting .231, 1 home run, and 12 RBIs. Groats helped out by some great defense here. Here's the pitch. And that one's in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Kyle Wood. Zach Groats getting ahead of the second batter here in the second inning. Groats has his sign, the 0-1. And this one fouled off to the left, back into the seats, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on the Windy City Thunderbolts first baseman. Kyle Wood had the night off last night as Larry Balkwill played at first base for the Thunderbolts. The 0-2, this one grounded towards the middle. Magruder giving chase. He dives, and he's not going to get it. The first hit of the day for the Windy City Thunderbolts, a 1-out single by Kyle Wood, and they have a runner on. That'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Blair Beck. Beck so far on the year hitting .213, 4 home runs, and 26 RBIs. That's the first hit given up on the day by Zach Groats. Groats last time out in his 6-inning shutout only gave up 4 hits to the Lake Erie Crushers in that continuation game. So Kyle Wood, the runner at first, Blair Beck at the plate against Zach Groats. Groats looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way to Beck. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Windy City Thunderbolts center fielder. Beck was at third base last night as Ransom Lalonde, a late scratch from the ball game. Taylor Smart went over to play shortstop. Groats has his sign, the 1-0, and this one grounded to the left side slowly and will roll into foul territory. And the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on the Windy City center fielder. Zach Groats pretty efficient in the first inning, only 12 pitches to get through 4 batters on the mound. Want to see him keep that pitch count low and see how long he can go in this ball game. Kyle Wood takes his lead from first. Zach Groats looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. That one's outside for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and a strike. Groats falling behind Blair Beck here. Only 8 walks in 40 and a third innings for the Wild Things right-hander. So has done a very good job of keeping the walks low this season. He's really done that throughout his career. Here's the 2-1. And this one lined towards right center field. That'll get down. Andrew Heck gives chase and a roll to the wall. Rounding second is Kyle Wood. He's going to be waved to the plate. Here comes the throw from the Wild Things, and it'll be cut off. So Windy City gets a run here in the bottom of the second. RBI double there by Blair Beck, and it's now 4-1 Washington here in the bottom of the second with 1 man out. Kyle Wood comes all the way around from first to score for Blair Beck. That's RBI number 27 of the year, and it's now 4-1 Wild Things here in the bottom of the second. That'll bring to the plate the catcher, Larry Balkwill. Balkwill so far in this one hitting 205, 3 home runs, and 10 RBIs. Blair Beck coming through with the RBI double. 1 out, bottom of the second. It's 4-1 Wild Things over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Zach Groats looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Groats has one he likes. He's set. Checks second, and the pitch on the way. And Balkwell takes this one in the outside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Zach Groats giving up a run here in the second inning of this start. That is the first earned run given up by Zach Groats since back on July the 20th versus the River City Rascals at Consol Energy Park. Groats checks his man at second, the 0-1, and that one's inside for a ball. Count goes even to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Larry Balkwell, the catcher for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Balkwell was out at first last night for Windy City. Corey Bass behind the plate. Balkwell giving Bass a game off here in game 1. Groats has his sign. He's set, checks second, and the 1-1 pitch. And Balkwell grounding this one slowly to the left side. Coming in as Alvaro Gonzalez. Handles, throw to first, and that's in time for out number 2. Nice play there by Alvaro Gonzalez, charging on the slow roller and able to glove it and make the throw to first in time to get Balkwell. Moving up to third on the play is Blair Beck. So now there's a runner at third with 2 men out, and that'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Taylor Smart. Smart so far on the year is hitting .240 with 1 home run and 24 RBIs. Smart, the number 9 hitter in the order for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Runner at third is Blair Beck, came through with the RBI double to drive in the first run for Windy City today. Groats has his sign, checks the runner at third, and the pitch on the way. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Windy City Thunderbolts third baseman, batting from the right side against the right-hander Zach Groats. Groats looking into Kyle Pollock, going through, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And that one's a called strike on the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, number 9 man in the Windy City order up. Runner at third with 2 men out, Blair Beck over there. Zach Groats looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 1 strike offering. This one grounded softly to the left side, but that'll go foul, and the count goes to 1-2. Zach Groats has yet to strike anybody out today on the mound. That one going foul off to the left. Groats, a high strikeout guy for the Wild Things, 45 strikeouts and 40 1/3 innings of work. Pitched for the Houston Astros organization for 2 seasons before coming to the Washington Wild Things. Groats has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2 pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. Couldn't get Smart to chase, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. 2 men out here in the bottom of the second. 4-1, your Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts, game 1 of this doubleheader. Zach Groats looks in, going through his signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. And a swing and a miss. Groats strikes out Smart, and that will end the inning. However, Windy City does get a run in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 2 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the third, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 1. Last inning for the Wild Things, they were threatened but would not score. Jamadric Magruder struck out to lead things off, and Andrew Heck would triple with 1 man out. So there's a runner at third, 1 out, and Austin Wobrock flew out. Ricky Rodriguez was then hit by a pitch to put runners at first. 2 men out before Dave Popkins hit into a fielder's choice to end the inning. Due up here in the third, Alvaro Gonzalez, Kyle Pollock, and Justin Garcia, 5, 6, and 7 against Brady Muller. Alvaro Gonzalez stepping in to lead things off here in this third inning. Gonzalez so far on the day, 1 for 1. The big blow to this point so far, a 3 RBI double in inning number 1 that got the Wild Things out to an early 3-0 lead. In last night's game, Gonzalez was the DH and ended up going 1 for 4 in the game with a single, a walk, and 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Muller's pitch, and Gonzalez grounds this one to the left side, just foul past the third base bag. Coaching on the bases for the Wild Things today at third base, manager Greg Langben. And over at first is hitting coach Mike Marshall. No balls, one strike, nobody out, top of the third. Here's the 0-1. And that one's inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Alvaro Gonzalez. Muller had to throw a lot of pitches in that first inning. 35 pitches in the first inning, but just 12 here in inning number 2. Larry Balkwell trying to get his mask back on as he lost his mask on that last play. Gets it back on. Muller has his sign, the 1-1. And a swing and a miss there by Gonzalez, and that one gets Steve Bartelstein again. Bartelstein taking a beating back there as Larry Balkwell unable to make the catch. And that one gets a piece of Bartelstein. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bartelstein was first hit by a pitch in the ankle and now gets that ball off the glove of catcher Larry Balkwell, hitting him in the chest protector. So just getting beat up back there. Home plate umpires and catchers know what that's all about. Bartelstein and Alvaro Gonzalez having a laugh about that one. Larry Balkwell giving him some time as he'll go out to the mound. Bartelstein's okay, shaking his head after that one as Gonzalez stepping back in. Everyone gets a good laugh out of it, and he looks to be okay. Gonzalez batting from the right side against the left-hander Brady Muller. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Alvaro Gonzalez in his 4th game for the Wild Things. Here's the 1-2 from Muller, and that one's just outside for a ball. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gonzalez wisely laying off as that one just missed the outside part of the plate. Muller has his sign, the 2-2, and a swing and a miss there by Gonzalez. He strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the top of the 3rd. For Brady Muller, that is his 5th strikeout of the day here through 2 1/3 innings of work, and that'll bring to the plate the catcher Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far on the day, 1 for 1, RBI single back in the first. In last night's game, Pollock ended up going 1 for 3 with a single, also walked, flew out, and grounded out in the game. Muller has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Pollock takes this one for a strike on the inside corner, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock from Clinton, Ohio, the primary catcher for the Wild Things. Here's Muller's 0-1, and a swing and a miss there by Pollock, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Brady Muller, lots of strikeouts here through this early part of the game. 5 strikeouts in the first 2 1/3 innings of work for him. Muller has his sign. Now time is called, as Steve Bartelstein says Larry Balkwell called time behind the plate. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out on Kyle Pollock. Brady Muller gave up 4 runs in the first inning, kept the Wild Things off the board in inning number 2. Here's the 0-2 offering, and this ball popped up on the infield. Tim Zier going back in shallow right. Coming in is Blair Beck and Charlie Thurber. Thurber will end up making the catch, and that's good for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the top of the 3rd, and that'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Justin Garcia. Garcia so far 0 for 1 with a strikeout on the day. 2 men out, top of the 3rd, 4-1. The Washington Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts here in the top of the 3rd. Garcia in his 3rd game with the Wild Things collected his first Wild Things hit last night. Ended up going 1 for 4 with a double. Also popped out, flew out, and struck out in the ball game. Muller has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Garcia takes this one up and in for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count here on the Wild Things first baseman, batting from the left side against the righty, Brady Muller. Muller has his sign, the 1-0. And a swing and a miss there by Garcia. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Brady Muller, his last time out, as we said, a pretty good start, but picked up a tough luck loss as against the Evansville Otters. He ended up going 7 innings, giving up 3 runs on 6 hits, walking 4 and striking out 7 in that ball game. His loss dropped him to 3-7. Here's the 1-1 from Muller, and this ball hit towards left field. Going back on it is John Williams, and Williams will make the catch. That's out number 3. 1, 2, 3 go the Wild Things here in the 3rd. And after 2.5 here at Standard Bank Stadium, the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the third, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 1. Last inning for the Windy City Thunderbolts, Ransom Malone led things off and was robbed of a base hit on a diving catch by Alvaro Gonzalez at third base. That was out number 1. Then Kyle Wood would single, and Blair Beck followed that up with an RBI double. Wood would come around to score. That made the score 4-1 Wild Things. Next batter, Larry Balkwell would ground out, and Taylor Smart would strike out to end the inning. Due up here in the third, John Williams, Tim Zier, and Cody Kiefer, 1, 2, and 3, facing off against Zach Groats. Now, Groats, talking about it, primarily a reliever for the Washington Wild Things this season. Last time out, however, started a continuation game against the Lake Erie Crushers, so took over in the bottom of the third in that one. He ended up going 6 shutout innings in that ball game, giving up 4 hits, not walking a man, and striking out 7, picking up his 3rd win of the year, getting his first start as a Wild Thing here tonight against Windy City. That'll bring to the plate the leadoff man, John Williams. Williams replaced Coco Johnson in this game in the top of inning number 2. So Williams' first at bat today. So far in the year, hitting .242, no home runs, and 2 RBIs. Coco Johnson finishes with 0 for 1 with a ground out in the ball game. So John Williams stepping in for Coco Johnson out in left field here for the rest of this game 1. Bottom of the third, 4-1 Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Zach Groats looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Groats has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And this one lined down the left field line, foul. It'll get back into the seats, and the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. 0-1 the count here on John Williams, batting from the left side. Williams is the 4th lefty now in this lineup against the righty Zach Groats. Groats is 0-1, and Williams takes this one low and inside for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on John Williams, the left fielder for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Williams replacing Coco Johnson. Johnson leaves the game after the bottom of the first inning as Williams came out there for the top of the second. Zach Groats looks in, has his sign, he's set in the 1-1. And Williams lining this one to left field, giving chase is Grant Fink, and that one will land fair and go to the corner. Williams around first, heading to second, and he's going to be in there with a leadoff double here in this bottom of the third. So Williams gets into scoring position with nobody out. Grant Fink giving chase on that one and getting down to the corner and getting that ball in quickly, holding Williams to a double. That'll bring to the plate the second baseman, Tim Zier. Zier so far on the day, 0 for 1, reached on an error in his first at-bat, and Zier in last night's game will go 0 for 3, struck out in the first, grounded out in the second, grounded out in the fifth, and walked in inning number 6 of last night's ball game. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Runner at second for Windy City as Zach Groats right back to the stretch here early on. Groats looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. Zier showing bunt, gets this one down, hits the right side, and that'll go foul, and the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. Groats, after delivering that pitch, fell down on the mound, tripped over something out there. He's okay as he walks it off. John Williams goes back to second, and Tim Zier will dig back in against Groats. No balls and a strike, nobody out. Bottom of the third, 4-1 Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Tim Zier batting from the right side against the righty Zach Groats. Groats looking in, going through the signs with Pollock. Has one he likes, he's set, and the no ball 1 strike pitch. Zier showing bunt, pulls back and takes a strike on the outside corner. The count now goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Groats looking for the first out in this inning after the leadoff double by John Williams in his first at-bat. Zach Groats, product of the Houston Astros organization, making his first start in professional baseball. Groats looks in, and now he'll step off as he wants to go through the signs once more. Zach Groats and Kyle Pollock trying to get on the same page here in the bottom of the third. Nobody out. John Williams doubled. He's at second. Groats looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 offering. And this ball fouled off by Tim Zier back into the stands. Count remains, no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2, nobody out here in the bottom of the third. 4-1 Wild Things lead here at Standard Bank Stadium. Standard Bank Stadium, a little shallow down the lines, 330 down the lines and 390 out there to that batter's eye in center field. Zach Groats looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Groats has one he likes, he's set, and the no ball 2 strike pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. Count now goes to 1-2, and Kyle Pollock going to go out there and talk to his pitcher, Zach Groats. Groats, a pretty clean first inning, only threw 12 pitches in the first inning against Windy City, only having to face 4 batters. Give his first run in the ball game in the bottom of the second on that RBI double by Blair Beck. And here in this inning, John Williams starts off the inning with a double on him. He stands out at second base, so Groats trying to calm down here in his third inning of work and trying to retire these Windy City Thunderbolts. Zach Groats looks into Kyle Pollock going through the signs. Groats wants to go through him once more. And now he'll step off as once again Groats doesn't see a sign he likes. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 87 degrees here at Standard Bank Stadium. But we got cloud cover, so it's a nice shady day for baseball. Groats has his sign, the 1-2 offering. And Zier lines this one. Oh, a leaping catch by Jamadrick Magruder. Thought that was going to get over his head. Magruder makes a nice leaping play out there at second, and that is out number 1. Good play there by Magruder, and there is 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Magruder leaping high to rob Tim Zier that base hit, and that'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Cody Kiefer. Kiefer so far in the day 0 for 1. Popped out to short in inning number 1. Kiefer in last night's ball game ended up going 2 for 4 with a solo home run, an RBI single, also grounded out and struck out in the ball game. Groats has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And Kiefer takes this one on the outside corner for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Windy City Thunderbolts DH. Kiefer was the DH last night as well. Cody Kiefer, standing in there from Davis, California. Groats has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1 offering. And that one's inside for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Cody Kiefer, batting from the left side against Zach Groats with the addition of John Williams in the lineup. Now 4 lefties in this Windy City lineup against your Washington Wild Things righty Zach Groats. Groats looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1. And this one grounded towards second. Magruder will handle it. He'll throw the short way to first, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 men away now here in this bottom of the third. Meanwhile, John Williams moves up to third base now with 2 men out, and that brings to the plate the right fielder, Charlie Thurber. Thurber so far 0 for 1, reached on a fielder's choice in his first at-bat. Last night for Charlie Thurber would hit in the cleanup spot and ended up going 2 for 4 with 2 singles in the game, also drove in a run. Zach Groats, 2 men out, bottom of the third, trying to get through a clean third inning of work. Groats has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And this one grounded towards second base again. Magruder has it. He'll throw to first, and it's in time for out number 3. So no runs in the inning for the Thunderbolts on just 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 3 innings of play here in Crestwood, Illinois, the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 4th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 1. Last inning for your Wild Things, a clean inning for Brady Muller on the mound for Windy City. We've got the Wild Things 1-2-3. Alvaro Gonzalez struck out, Kyle Pollock flew out, and Justin Garcia flew out to end the inning. Due up here in the 4th, Grant Fink, Jamadrick Magruder, and Andrew Heck, 8, 9, and 1. Facing off against Brady Muller. Grant Fink making his way to the plate right now to lead things off. Fink so far in this game 0 for 1. He struck out in his first at-bat. Last night for Fink, we go 0 for 4. Struck out 4 times in last night's ball game. Nobody out top of the 4th. Grant Fink trying to get something started for the Wild Things here in this top of the 4th inning. Brady Muller looks in, going through the signs with his catcher Larry Balkwill. Muller has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. and Fink pops this one up to the right side. That'll go back into the seats and foul, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things left fielder. Grant Fink was out at second last night for the Wild Things. Getting the start in left field today as Andrew Heck shifts from left to center. Muller has his sign, the 0-1, and this one swung on and fouled back by Fink, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on the Wild Things left fielder. Grant Fink said before this season he had never played outfield in his life, so it's been fun for him to get to learn the position as he goes along this year. Muller has his sign, the 0-2, and that one's outside for a ball. Fink weighing off of that one, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Grant Fink trying to get something started here in this third inning. Wild Things have had a runner on in 2 of the 3 innings. Here's the 1-2. This one lined to left field and pretty deep. Williams giving chase, and this will bounce off the wall. Fink around first, and it'll actually go over the wall. So it's a ground rule double for Grant Fink. Runner in scoring position to start the inning for the Wild Things with nobody out. Fink getting in there, his first hit of this 3-game series. A double off the left field wall, bounced over for a ground rule double. Now the Wild Things have a runner at second with nobody out, and that brings to the plate the second baseman, Jamadric Magruder. Magruder so far in the day 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Magruder did not play in last night's game as Grant Fink was out there at second base. Magruder still easing his way back into the lineup after recovering from a hamstring injury he suffered in Florence. Brady Muller has his sign, checks second. Here's the pitch. Magruder showing bunt, pulls back, takes outside, and this one gets away from Balkwill. Fink will move up to third, so a wild pitch there by Brady Muller puts a runner at third now with nobody out, and the Wild Things a very good chance to add on here in the top of the 4th inning. Larry Balkwell set up on the inside part of the plate, had to reach outside for that one, couldn't get a glove on it, and it went back to the backstop. So that wild pitch, 1 ball, no strikes, the count now on Jamadric Magruder. Brady Muller has his sign, he's set in the 1-0. And Magruder takes this one low for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0, nobody out here in the top of the 4th. 4-1 Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Windy City infield comes in. Muller has his sign, checks third, the 2-0. And that one taken outside as well. Balkwell, nice job of blocking that one, and the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0, runner at third for your Washington Wild Things. Nobody out as Grant Fink doubled to start the inning, then moved up on a wild pitch by Brady Muller. Muller has his sign, he's set, and the 3-0. And that one's outside, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk here has Jamadric Magruder on base now with nobody out. Runners are at first and third for the Wild Things, and that'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far in the day, 2 for 2. Singled in his first at-bat and tripled his last time up. So looking to get his 3rd hit of the ball game, trying to drive in another run here in this one's already driven in 2 runs in this series. 2 RBI doubles last night to drive in 2 of his team's 5 runs. Would love to pick up another RBI here as 12 on the season. And Larry Balkwell going to relay some signs to his infielders defensively. Right now for the defense, the third baseman Taylor Smart playing about even with the third base bag. First baseman Kyle Wood holding the runner on over there. And the middle infield at double play depth. Brady Muller has his sign, throw over to first. And Jamadric Magruder gets back in. Magruder so far in the year has 3 stolen bases for your Washington Wild Things. Good for 4th on the team behind Dave Popkins, Andrew Heck, and Austin Wobrock, and Chris Grayson. Muller has his sign, the pitch, and that one's inside for a ball on Heck, and the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things center fielder. Andrew Heck trying to reach base for the 3rd time here today out in center field for the Wild Things as Chris Grayson getting game 1 off here in this doubleheader. Muller has his sign, checks first in the 1-0. Taking off for second is Magruder. Throw down, and it's not in time. Magruder gets in there with his 4th stolen base of the year, and now there are runners at second and third for your Wild Things. Nobody out, an even better chance to add on as now 2 runners in scoring position and nobody out. 2-0 the count on Andrew Heck as that ball was inside. That'll prompt action. The Windy City bullpen is warming up out there as Chris Chigos, the left-hander. Brady Muller looking into his catcher, Larry Balkwell, going through the signs. Muller has one he likes. He's set. Checks second, the 2-0. And this one line to left field, and that'll get down for a base hit. Finkel coming to score. Magruder falls on his way to third. So it's an RBI single for Heck, and now Heck getting into a rundown. Magruder breaking for the plate. Here's the throw there, and it's going to be in time to get Jamadrick Magruder. That's going to be out number one. Andrew Heck in there with an RBI single as he tried to get in a rundown to try to get that run home, but unfortunately Windy City's defense able to snuff that one out, and they throw home in time to retire Jamadrick Magruder. So a run does come in. It's now 5-1 Washington Wild Things here in the top of the fourth after that RBI single by Andrew Heck, and that brings to the plate the shortstop Austin Walbrock. So now there's a runner at first with one man out after all that craziness, and Walbrock stepping to the plate. 5-1 your Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Brady Muller, the left-hander on the mound. Chris Chigos warming up in the bullpen for Windy City. Brady Muller looking into his catcher Balkwill, going through the signs. Muller has one he likes. He's set, checks the runner at first, and the pitch. And Walbrock takes this one in the outside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. One man out here in the top of the fourth. A run in for the Wild Things. As it's their fifth run of the ball game. They lead 5-1. Muller has his sign. He's set in the 0-1. And this one grounded towards the middle. Handled by the shortstop Lalone. Steps on second for one. On to first. And not in time as that one takes Kyle Wood off the bag. So fielder's choice there for Austin Walbrock. 6 unassisted on the putout. Walbrock replaces Andrew Heck at first. Heck thrown out at second. And now there's a runner at first and 2 men out. And that'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far on the day is 0 for 1. Reached on an error and scored a run in the first. And was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Now 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. 5-1. Your Washington Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Brady Muller looking in, going through the signs, has one he likes, checks the runner at first, and the throw over there, and Austin Walbrock gets back. Walbrock on the year, 6 stolen bases, good for a tie of second on this Wild Things team. Brady Muller has his sign. He's set now, checks Walbrock, and throw over there once more. And again, Walbrock getting back in there. Brady Muller paying attention to Austin Walbrock over there. 2 outs in this top of the fourth inning. A run in for your Wild Things on the RBI single by Andrew Heck. Muller has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. And a swing and a miss there by Rodriguez, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things center fielder, Andrew Heck. On the Wild Things DH, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez has been at that DH spot a little more often lately as Alvaro Gonzalez has gotten more chances out at third. Here's the 0-1, and Rodriguez hits this one to center field. Waiting for it is the center fielder, Blair Beck, and he makes the catch. That's good for out number 3. However, the Wild Things get another run in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 3.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things 5, Windy City Thunderbolts 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball going to the bottom of the fourth. And your score, your Washington Wild Things 5 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 1. Last inning for the Windy City Thunderbolts against starters Zach Groats. John Williams doubled to lead things off. Then Tim Zier would line out. Cody Kiefer grounded out. And Charlie Thurber grounded out to end the inning. Due up here in the fourth against Groats will be Ransom Lalone, Kyle Wood, and Blair Beck, the 5, 6, and 7 men in this Windy City order. Now, Zach Groats has had experience in minor league baseball, making his first start in professional baseball today. In 2015, played for the single-A and rookie ball teams of the Houston Astros, won a combined 5-3 with a 3.27 ERA, had 5 saves for them, 19 games, no starts, gave 8 runs all earned on 17 hits, walked 5 and struck out 15 in 22 innings pitched. This year with the Wild Things, setting career highs in in games appeared with 28, also setting career highs in saves and innings pitched, as well as strikeouts with 45. with the Wild Things so far, all out of the bullpen except for today. He's appearing in his 29th game, making his first start of the season. His first 28 games out of the bullpen, and 1.11 ERA, 10 saves in those 28 games. Making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the bottom of the fourth against Groats is the shortstop, Ransom Lalonde. Lalonde so far on the day, 0 for 1, was robbed of a base hit in his first at-bat, diving catch by Alvaro Gonzalez at third base. Lalonde a late scratch from yesterday's ball game as Blair Beck had to play third base, and Taylor Smart moved over to shortstop for Lalonde. So Lalonde stepping in here in the bottom of the fourth. Zach Groats looks in. Groats has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Windy City shortstop, Lalonde. Played shortstop in all 6 games against the Wild Things back in Consol. The 1-0, and that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, nobody out. Groats has his sign, the offering. And this one swung on a miss by Lalonde. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 on the right-handed hitting shortstop for Windy City. Zach Groats, so far so good here in this one, just giving up 3 hits and that 1 run to this point. Groats looks in, has his sign, he's set in the 1-2. And this one fouled off to the right side by Lalonde, past the Wild Things dugout, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Zach Groats. Groats only needed 12 pitches to get through that third inning. Needed 12 for both the first and the third, and threw 16 pitches in inning number 2. Groats looks in, has his sign, the 1-2 offering. And this one grounded to the left side. Charging is Alvaro Gonzalez. He'll make the play, throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Thunderbolts here in the bottom of the fourth, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Kyle Wood. Wood so far on the day, 1 for 1, singled and scored a run in inning number 2. Kyle Wood did not play in last night's ball game as Larry Balkwill got the reps at first, and behind home plate was Corey Bass. Bass ended the day going 0 for 4, reached on air, grounded out, flew out, and hit to a fielder's choice. Here's the pitch, and Wood takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Windy City Thunderbolts first baseman. Groats looks in, has his sign, the 1-0. And that one's inside as well. Count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Groats falling behind the second batter here in this inning, as he's been ahead most of the game, but has had these times where he's fallen behind. Groats has his sign, the 2-0, and this one fouled off back into the seats. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on Kyle Wood, batting from the left side against the righty Zach Groats. Yesterday, against right-hander Luke Wilkins, the Windy City Thunderbolts threw 2 lefties at him out of the lineup. Today, 4 lefties at the righty Zach Groats. The 2-1, and this one fouled off the ankle of Kyle Wood, rolled out to Jamadrick Magruder at second base. As Wood goes down on a knee, he'll walk that foul ball off, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here on the Windy City Thunderbolts first baseman. Wood shaking that one off as it hit off his foot and then rolled out to the second base area. Defense for the Wild Things playing pretty straight up here against Kyle Wood. Austin Wobrock shifted a little bit out in the shallow left center field rather than his normal shortstop position. Zach Groats looking in, has his sign, the 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Groats strikes out Kyle Wood, and that's out number 2 here in the bottom of the fourth. For Groats, his second strikeout of the day, and that'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Blair Beck. Beck so far, 1 for 1, hit an RBI double in inning number 2. Beck in last night's game ended up going 0 for 4, struck out 3 times and flew out in the contest. 2 men out, bottom of the fourth, 5-1. The Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Groats looks in, has his sign, the pitch, and a swing and a miss there by Blair Beck, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. The Wild Things have lost 7 straight games on the road, looking to snap that 7-game road losing streak here today. Here's the 0-1, and this one fouled off by Beck. Count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on Windy City's center fielder. Righty-on-righty matchup. Zach Groats for the Wild Things facing off against Blair Beck for the Thunderbolts. Groats has his sign, he's set, and the no-ball 2-strike offering. And that one's outside for a ball. Groats tried to get Beck to chase, but Beck would not offer, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Zach Groats, former closer for the Wild Things, now turned starter here in this one. Groats has his sign, the 1 ball 2-strike offering. And this one grounded foul off to the left into the Windy City dugout, and the count stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 5th pitch of the at-bat coming here to Blair Beck. Groats, 5 pitches in each of the first 2 at-bats here in this inning, so we'll see if he can end it with an even 5 here against Blair Beck. Groats looking in, has his sign. He's set in the 1-2. And this ball popped up to the right territory. Giving chase is Garcia and Popkins, but that one will land foul, and the count remains 1-2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Blair Beck. Bottom of the fourth, 5-1. Washington Wild Things lead here over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Zach Groats looking into Kyle Pollock. Groats has his sign. He's set, and the 1-2 pitch. And that one's a call. Strike 3. Blair Beck strikes out, and that will end the inning. Third strikeout of the day for Zach Groats. 1-2-3 go the Thunderbolts here in the fourth. And after 4 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 5 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute? That keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise, we ensure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the fifth, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 5 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 1. Brady Muller back out there for his 5th inning of work. Last inning for the Washington Wild Things, Grant Fink started things off with a double. He would then move up to third on a wild pitch. There'd be a runner at third, nobody out. Jamondrick Magruder would then walk and steal second, so be second and third, nobody out, before Andrew Heck came through with an RBI single. Grant Fink came in to score. Heck tried to get in a rundown between first and second to allow Magruder to score. However, Windy City's defense sniffing out the attempt. They threw home and got Magruder for out number 1 in the inning. Next batter, Austin Wolbrock would hit into a fielder's choice, and Ricky Rodriguez would fly out to end the inning. Due up here in the 5th for your Wild Things, Dave Popkins, Alvaro Gonzalez, and Kyle Pollock, 4, 5, and 6 against Brady Muller. Now, remember, there was action in Windy City's bullpen in that top of the 4th inning as Chris Chigos was warming up. Chigos is ready in case Brady Muller needs to come out of this ball game. But Muller so far in to start this 5th. Dave Popkins to the plate. Muller looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things right fielder. Bats from the right side against the lefty Brady Muller. Popkins a switch hitter. Muller's 1-0. And this one swung on a miss by Popkins. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Popkins still looking for his first hit here in this series against Windy City. Went 0 for 4 last night, but did drive in a run against the Thunderbolts. Here's Muller's 1-1. And that one swung on a miss by Popkins. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on the Wild Things right fielders. Only missed 1 game this season due to day off. That was in Lake Erie on June the 12th, so it's been very durable for the Wild Things. Muller's 1-2 pitch, and this one fouled off by Popkins at the plate. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 on Dave Popkins. Nobody out here in the top of the 5th. Wild Things trying to pad their 4-run lead. Muller looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike offering. And Popkins hits this one down the right field line. That one's hooking, and it'll go foul. And the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dave Popkins working on his gap power in batting practice yesterday. No batting practice today for the Wild Things, as they just hit out of the cage early on. Muller set the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this one lined into left field. Coming on is John Williams, and he's not going to make the catch. Popkins' first hit in the series as he's on with a leadoff single here in the top of the 5th. And that'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Alvaro Gonzalez. Gonzalez so far is 1 for 2, a 3 RBI double in the first, and struck out in inning number 3. Nobody out top of the 5th. Dave Popkins, his first hit of the series. Now, with today and yesterday combined, Popkins is a total of 1 for 6 in the series. Muller's pitch, and Gonzalez swing and a miss there, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things third baseman, batting from the right side against the lefty Brady Muller. Alvaro Gonzalez played for the University of New Mexico Highlands earlier this season, his first dip into professional baseball. Muller has his sign, checks first. Here's the 0-1. And Gonzalez fouls this one back into the seats. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on Alvaro Gonzalez, getting the start out there at third base today. And he's played there in 3 of his 4 games, has 1 game as a DH. That was last night. Brady Muller has his sign. He's set in the 0-2. And Gonzalez grounds this one to the left side. Lalone, a sliding stop, goes to second and is able to make the play. They're not going to have a play at first. Fielder's choice 6-4. A nice play there by Ransom Lalone, retiring Dave Popkins at second and getting the first out of this inning. That one not very hardly hit by Alvaro Gonzalez. Lalone going to his right there, sliding to make that stop and throwing to second. So a great play there by Lalone. That'll bring to the plate the catcher Kyle Pollock with a runner at first and one man out. Pollock so far 1 for 2. RBI single in the first and a fly out in inning number 3. Here's the pitch from Muller. That one swung on and fouled away by Pollock, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things catcher, batting from the right side against the lefty Brady Muller. Muller making his second start of the year against the Washington Wild Things. Faced them one other time on June the 8th. Went 5 2/3 innings in that game. Gave up 4 runs all earned on 5 hits, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. It was part of a doubleheader that day. Picked up a loss. That was his 3rd loss of the year. Here's the 0-1, and Pollock takes that one for a strike. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on the Wild Things catcher. 1 man out, top of the 5th. 5-1. The Washington Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Muller has his sign, checks first. Here's the 0-2, and this one lined to the left center field, and that'll get down and go to the wall. Gonzalez around second, heading to third. Manager Greg Langdon's going to wave him around. Here comes the throw from Lalone, the cutoff man, and it's not in time. Pollock's second RBI hit of the day, an RBI double, and the Wild Things extend their lead. It's now 6-1 here in the top of the 5th. Pollock going with that pitch, lining it into the left center field gap. Pollock's 12th RBI of the year. He stands on second with 1 man out, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Justin Garcia. Garcia so far 0 for 2, struck out in the first and flew out in inning number 3. Wild Things adding their lead. It's now 6-1. Windy City manager Ron Biga coming out of his dugout, and we're going to have a pitching change here in this game. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network. Currently in the top of the 5th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 6 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 1.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfill playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, currently in the top of the 5th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 6 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 1. Now on the mound for the Windy City Thunderbolts, left-hander Chris Chigos. Chigos so far in the year, 1-2, 1 save on the season, a 5.25 ERA. Appearing in his 29th game, has made 3 starts this year. Thrown 49 2/3 innings of work, giving up 30 runs, 29 earned on 46 hits, 45 strikeouts, and 21 walks on the season for Chris Chigos. So Chigos comes in to relieve the starter Brady Muller. For Muller, book not officially closed on him yet, as he is responsible for Kyle Pollock out there on second base. But so far, 4 1/3 in this one. You have 6 runs, 5 earned on 8 hits, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. So Chris Chigos will try to strand that man out there at second. First man due up to face him here for the Wild Things will be the lefty first baseman Justin Garcia. Garcia so far in the day is 0 for 2. Struck out and flew out on the day. Windy City did this yesterday against Justin Garcia. Garcia came up with runners at first and second and 2 men out in the top of the 5th inning. And they brought in the left-hander Jay Stolley to face him. In that at-bat, Garcia would fly out. So we'll see what Garcia does now here with a runner at second and 1 man out. Kyle Pollock out there at second base taking his lead. Chris Chigos looking into his catcher, Larry Balkwell. Chigos has his sign, checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss there by Garcia. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count Justin Garcia in his third game as a Washington Wild Thing. Out there at first base, Jimmy Yezzo still rehabbing from an ankle injury. Chigos has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1 offering. And this one fouled off by Garcia. Count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Chris Chigos, 45 strikeouts in 49 and 2/3 innings of work. So Chigos very good in that department for Windy City out of the bullpen. Kyle Pollock, the runner at second, he drove in the 6th run of the ball game with his RBI double in the one man out in this top of the 5th. Chigos has his sign, checks second. Here's the 0-2, and this one fouled off back to the Wild Things dugout, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 still the count here on Justin Garcia. Big lefty out there at first base for the Wild Things. Kyle Pollock takes his lead from second. Chigos looking in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 0-2 offering. And this one's inside for a ball. Count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Justin Garcia. Garcia played in the Houston Astros organization a year ago, played in rookie ball, and this year for that same rookie ball team hit 174 with a homer and 3 RBIs. The 1-2, and this one hit down the left field line. That'll go foul, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Justin Garcia making Chris Chigos work here out of the bullpen. 6th pitch of the at-bat coming up here to Justin Garcia, batting from the left side against the lefty, Chris Chigos. Chigos checks Kyle Pollock out there at second, looking in. Has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. That one's outside for a ball. Good take there by Garcia, and the count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wild Things, after game 2 of this doubleheader, will take a bus down to Traverse City, Michigan, as they start a 3-game series with the Traverse City Beach Bums Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 2-2 pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. Count now goes full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. You can hear all 3 of those games right here at the MSA Sports Network. All 3 games starting at 7:05. First pitch, Matt Frodden will take the hill on Tuesday against Traverse City. Chris Chigos looking into his catcher, Balkwill, going through his signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner at second, the 3-2. And Garcia, ground ball to first, handled over there by Wood. He'll take it to the bag himself. That's in time for out number 2. Meanwhile, moving up to third on the play is Kyle Wood. So a productive out there by Justin Garcia. And with 2 outs and a runner at third, that'll bring to the plate the left fielder, Grant Fink. Fink so far 1 for 2, struck out in the first, doubled and scored a run in inning number 4. Now 2 men out here in this top of the 5th inning. 6-1 your Wild Things lead. Fink out in left field today, a product of the Cleveland Indians organization. Chris Chigos looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Fink fouls this one off back to the backstop, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things left fielder. Grant Fink out there today. A utility guy for the Wild Things. Played 3 infield spots and has also played the left field here this season. Chigos is 0-1. And this ball fouled off back into the stands. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. In the infield, we've seen him at third, second, and first. And then we've also seen him out in left field like he is today. He's also got some games in as a DH for this team. So playing all over the field and getting a chance to be in the lineup. Chigos has his sign. He's set in the 0-2. And Fink, a ground ball towards third. Taylor Smart will handle it. Throw over to first. And that's in time for out number 3. The Wild Things do get a run in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 4.5, the score, your Washington Wild Things 6, Windy City Thunderbolts 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 5th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 6, Windy City Thunderbolts 1. Last inning for the Windy City Thunderbolts, they would go 1-2-3 against Wild Things starter Zach Groats. Ransom Lalonde would ground out, Kyle Wood would strike out, and Blair Beck would strike out to end the inning. Due up here in the 5th, Larry Balkwill, Taylor Smart, and John Williams, 8, 9, and 1, facing off against Zach Groats. Groats so far so good here on the day. through 4 innings of work, has given up just that 1 run on 3 hits, has not walked a man, and has struck out 3 in the ball game. Groats has been very good with his control so far today. He's been pounding the strike zone. It's really helped that he's had an early lead early on. He had a 4-0 lead in the top of inning number 1, and that really set the tone for him here on the day. He's been pounding the strike zone and been able to trust the defenders out there for the Wild Things. Wild Things playing pretty solid defense. 1 error on the day so far. That was on the throwing error by Alvaro Gonzalez back in the first inning. Nothing coming of that one as Groats was able to get out of the inning. Meanwhile, Windy City, 3 errors in this ball game. All 3 of those errors coming in inning number 1. So Zach Groats here in his 5th inning of work. Due up to face him here, coming to the plate, is the catcher, Larry Balkwill. Balkwill so far on the day, 0 for 1. Grounded out in inning number 2. And in last night's game, Larry Balkwill would end up going 0 for 4, struck out, grounded out, reached on an error, and struck out once more in that one. So Zach Groats out for his 5th inning of work. Larry Balkwill making his way to the plate here to start things in the bottom of the 5th. Wild Things adding a run in the top half of this inning. Scored 4 in the first, 1 in the 4th, and now 1 here in inning number 5. Righty Zach Groats facing off against the right-handed batter Larry Balkwill. Zach Groats looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Balkwill takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Windy City Thunderbolts catcher. Groats looking in. Has his sign, the 1-0. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Groats falls behind Balkwill 2-0. He's done this a couple of times today, but has been able to fight back and get outs when he's needed to. Here's the 2-0, and this one hit towards right center field. Andrew Heck and Dave Popkins giving chase. This one will bounce over the wall for a ground roll double for Larry Balkwill. So a leadoff double for the Windy City Thunderbolts catcher. They'll have a runner at second with nobody out to start this bottom of the 5th inning. Balkwill giving that one a ride to right center field, bouncing on the track and just getting over that wall over the fence, and that made it a ground roll double. That'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Taylor Smart. Smart so far in the day, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Last night's game, Taylor Smart would go 1 for 3. Single strikeout, sac fly, and a ground out on the day. So Taylor Smart stepping in. Runner at second, nobody out for Windy City. 6-1, your Washington Wild Things lead. Zach Groats looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Groats looking, has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the pitch on the way. And this one grounded foul by Taylor Smart. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Windy City Thunderbolts third baseman. Was out at shortstop for last night's ball game, as Ransom Lalonde was a late scratch. Smart asked to go into short and played a pretty good shortstop last night. Zach Groats looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Groats has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And this one fouled back by Taylor Smart, and the count now goes to 0-2. Zach Groats jumping ahead of Taylor Smart after giving up that leadoff double to Larry Balkwill. Balkwill standing on second base as he drove that one to right center field. It was Balkwill's first hit of the series, went 0 for 4 last night. Zach Groats looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Groats has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the no-ball 2-strike offering. And this one fouled off by Taylor Smart. That'll go back into the seats foul, so the count will remain 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, an 11-pitch inning for Zach Groats in that bottom half of the 4th, trying to get through 5 innings here. Still no action in the Wild Things bullpen, so Groats still has plenty of leash out there from manager Greg Langben. Groats looks into Kyle Pollock. Has his sign, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the 0-2. And this one lined right at Justin Garcia at first base, makes the catch, and that's out number 1. Garcia positioned perfectly on that line drive, hit right to his glove, and he's able to make the catch for out number 1. That'll bring to the plate the left fielder, John Williams. Williams so far 1 for 1, doubled in his first at-bat in inning number 3. Came in the top of the 2nd inning for left fielder Coco Johnson, replaced him. Johnson went grounded out in the first inning, went 0 for 1 on the day. So John Williams stepping in here against Zach Groats. Groats going through his signs with his catcher, Kyle Pollock. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the pitch on the way. And Williams takes this one for a strike on the inside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Windy City left fielder. Not originally in this lineup. One of 4 lefties in the lineup for Windy City. John Williams, 6'1", 190 from Los Gatos, California. Groats has his sign. Checks second, the 0-1. And this one lined towards center field. Andrew Heck coming in on it, and it'll drop in front of him as he lost it in the sky. So that'll fall in. We'll see if they give him a hit. They will give him a hit. It's a base hit for John Williams, and now there's runners at first and third with one man out. Andrew Heck was coming in on that ball and then raised his glove up over his eyes. He couldn't see the baseball, and it fell in. John Williams gets the single, and that brings to the plate the second baseman, Tim Zier. Zier so far on the day is 0 for 2, reached on air in the first, and lined out in inning number 3. Runners are at first and third for Windy City. One man out. Zach Roach trying to keep him off the board here in this bottom of the 5th inning. 6-1 Wild Things lead. Righty Zach Roach on the mound. The runner at third is Larry Balkwill. He doubled to start the inning. And the runner at first, John Williams, after that single. Zach Groats looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Groats has one he likes. He's set. Checks the runner at third, and the pitch on the way. And this one ground to the left side, and that'll be a base hit. Balkwill comes in to score. RBI single for Tim Zier, and that makes the score 6-2, your Washington Wild Things over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Zier placing that perfectly between Alvaro Gonzalez and Austin Wobrock over there on the left side of the infield, and it got through for a hit for Tim Zier. That's RBI number 30 on the season. Runners at first and second for Windy City. No, one man out, and that'll bring to the plate the DH Cody Kiefer. Kiefer so far 0 for 2. Popped out in the first and grounded out in inning number 3. Now one man out in this bottom of the 5th. A run in for Windy City. Wild Things lead 6-2. Zach Groats looks into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes. He's set, and the pitch on the way. And that one's high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Groats getting a little roughed up here in this 5th inning. Gave up the leadoff double to Larry Balkwill. Then back-to-back singles with one man out has brought in a run here in this game. Groats looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-0 offering. And that one's inside for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Groats falling behind Cody Kiefer here, the DH. Windy City has runners at first and second. They're down by 4 here in this one. Zach Groats looks in. Groats has his sign, he's set, and the 2-ball, no-strike pitch. And this ball popped up to the left, going towards foul territory. Gonzalez giving chase, but this one will land in the seats foul, and the count goes to 2-1. 2 balls and a strike here on Cody Kiefer. Second day as a DH here for Windy City. DH in last night's game as well. Kiefer listed as an outfielder on the roster for Windy City. Kiefer standing at 6'1", 215 from Davis, California. One of the experienced players here on the Windy City roster. Zach Groats looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And this one fouled back to the screen. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here on Cody Kiefer with one man out in this bottom of the 5th inning. 6-2 Wild Things lead. Zach Groats trying to get through this 5th inning of work. Last time out through 6 shutout innings against the Lake Erie Crushers, striking out 7 and not walking a man in that ball game. Still hasn't walked anybody here today. Has struck out 3 through 4 1/3. Groats looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. And Kiefer takes this one for a called strike 3. He strikes out, and that's out number 2 in the inning. 4th strikeout today for Zach Groats, and that brings to the plate the right fielder, Charlie Thurber. Thurber so far 0 for 2, hitting to a fielder's choice in the first, and grounded out in inning number 3. Bottom of the 5th, 2 outs now for the Windy City Thunderbolts. They still have runners at first and second, and Thurber at the plate. 6-2, your Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. John Williams, the runner at second, and Tim Zier, the runner at first. Zach Groats looks in, has his sign, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the pitch on the way. And that one's in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. That one hitting the outside corner from Zach Groats. 0-1 the count here at Standard Bank Stadium. Wild Things dropped the first game of this 3-game series last night by a score of 6-5. Wild Things committed 4 errors in that ball game. So far leading here in game 2 by the score of 6-2. Groats has his sign, he's set, checks his runner at second, and the 0-1. And that one's inside, jumping out of the way of that one's Charlie Thurber, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count, still no action out there in the Wild Things bullpen, so manager Greg Langben letting Zach Groats go here. Groats' first start in professional baseball, first start since his senior year of college, back when he played for, Embry-Riddle University. Groats has his sign, the 1-1, and this one grounded to the left side. Groats coming off the mound. He'll glove, spin, throw to first, and a nice defensive play there by Zach Groats. That one will end the inning. 1-3 on the putout. The Windy City Thunderbolts do get another run in the inning, however, on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 5 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 6, Windy City Thunderbolts 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same old's true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 6th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 6 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 2. Last inning for the Wild Things, they would add another run on to this lead. It would start off with a single by Dave Popkins. Next batter, Alvaro Gonzalez, reached on a fielder's choice. Then Kyle Pollock came through, his second RBI hit of the day, an RBI double. That scored Alvaro Gonzalez and made the score 6-2 Washington Wild Things. That would be it for the starter, Brady Muller. He finished the day. Coming in to relieve him was Chris Chigos. Chigos back in there for the 6th inning. Chigos got Justin Garcia at a ground out to start things, and then Grant Fink grounded out to end the inning. Final line on the starter, Brady Muller. Muller went 4 1/3, gave up 6 runs, 5 earned on 8 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts through 85 pitches on the day in his outing. So Chigos back out there for his first full inning of work. Two up to face him here in the 6th, Jamadric Magruder, Andrew Heck, and Austin Warbrock, 9-1-2 for your Wild Things coming to the plate here in the top of the 6th. Game 1 of this doubleheader, 6-2 Wild Things lead. Game 2 of the doubleheader scheduled a half hour after the conclusion of this Game 1. Chase Cunningham will take the mound for your Wild Things in that one, facing off against Clay Chapman for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Chris Chigos finishes up his warm-up tosses here, and that'll bring to the plate the second baseman, Jamadric Magruder. Magruder so far today 0 for 1, struck out in the second, and walked in inning number 4. Now stepping in to lead things off here in the top of the 6th. When he was first signed by the Wild Things, he was in that leadoff spot on a consistent basis. In fact, his first 5 games as a Wild Thing were all in that leadoff position. Then Andrew Heck has since taken over that job after Magruder struggled. First pitch, that one swung on a miss by Magruder, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 to count to the Wild Things second baseman. Chigos has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on Jamadric Magruder. Lefty on lefty matchup. Chigos has his sign, the 1-1. And that one's outside for a ball. So now Chigos falling behind Magruder. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Nobody out. Temperature raising a little bit here at Standard Bank Stadium. 89 degrees now. Wind blowing out to right field. Here's the 2-1. And this one fouled off by Magruder. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Chigos needed 11 pitches to get through his 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. Looking for a more efficient inning here in the 6th out of the bullpen. Chigos shakes off the first side. Now has one he likes. He's set in the 2-2. And that one's high for a ball. Count goes full to Magruder. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman. Lefty Chris Chigos into the game. Chigos has his sign in the 3-2. And that one's outside, ball 4. So a leadoff walk to start things in the top of the 6th as a runner on for the Wild Things. Second time Jamadric Magruder has walked in this ball game, and that'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far on the day is 3 for 3. Singled and scored a run in the first, tripled in the second, and hit an RBI single in inning number 4. Nobody out top of the 6th. 6-2. The Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Jamadric Magruder, the runner at first. 3 stolen bases on the year. 4 stolen bases. He picked up a stolen base in his last time on base. Chigos over to first, and Magruder gets back. And after Magruder stole that base last time, Chigos wanted to keep close attention on him. 4 steals for Magruder on the year. Tied with Dave Popkins now for third on the team. Popkins has 4 as well. Chigos' pitch, and that one's a called strike. Throw down to first, and Magruder just getting back in there. Snap throw by Larry Balkwill almost caught Magruder off guard, but Magruder able to get back in there, no balls and a strike. And Popkins has 5 stolen bases on the year. He's third. Magruder's 4 puts him in 4th place on the team. Chigos has his sign, checks the runner at first, the 0-1. Heck squaring, pulls back and takes a ball, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on the Wild Things center fielder. Andrew Heck getting the start in center as Chris Grayson gets game 1 off here for the Washington Wild Things. 1 ball, 1 strike here in the top of the 6th. 6-2, the Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Chigos has his sign, throw over to first, and Jamadric Magruder getting back in there. Magruder walked to lead off the inning. The Wild Things have gotten the leadoff man on in each of the last 3 innings here against the Windy City Thunderbolts. In total, they've had that leadoff man reach 4 out of the 6 innings. Here's the 1-1, and that one's inside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Chris Chigos a little wild here to start this inning. Here in the top of the 6th, Wild Things looking to add on to their 4-run lead. Chigos has his sign, checks the runner at first. Here's the 2-1, and that one's high for a ball. Count now going to 3 balls and a strike here on Andrew Heck. And right now, Chigos in danger of walking the first 2 men he's faced here in this top of the 6th inning. 3 balls and a strike, nobody out. Chigos set at the belt. Here's the 3-1, and that one's a called strike this time. Count goes full to Andrew Heck. 3 balls and 2 strikes. On deck man Austin Wobrock for the Wild Things. Second full count that Chris Chigos has gotten into here in this inning. Chigos has his sign, the 3-2. Magruder takes off for second. This one hit towards right center by Andrew Heck. Drifting over there is the right fielder Charlie Thurber. Thurber will make the catch, and that's in time for out number 1. Magruder tags back up at first base, and there's 1 out and a runner at first. That'll bring to the plate the shortstop Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far in the day, 0 for 3, struck out in the first, flew out in the second, and reached on a fielder's choice in inning number 4. 1 man out, top of the 6th, 6-2. The Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Jamadric Magruder was at second base as that fly ball was hit to right center field, by Andrew Heck. Magruder having to hustle back to first base as Thurber threw a strong throw in there. Chigos has his sign. He's set. 1 man out, top of the 6th. Here's the pitch. And Wobrock takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things shortstop Austin Wobrock. Lefty on lefty matchup. Chigos has his sign. He's set and the 0-1. Magruder takes off for second. Pitch outside. Throw down. And it's not in time. Magruder in there with his 2nd stolen base of the day. His 5th stolen base of the year. And now tied with Dave Popkins for 3rd in stolen bases on this team. Magruder 2 for 2 in stolen bases here in this ball game. 1 man out in the top of the 6th. 1-1 the count on Austin Wobrock. 6-2. Your Washington Wild Things currently lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts here in this one. Chris Chigos looks in, has his sign, the 1-1. And Wobrock grounding this one to the right side, handled by Kyle Wood. Wood will take it to the bag himself, and that's in time for out number 2. Meanwhile, Jamadric Magruder moves up to 3rd on the play. So now there's a runner at 3rd with 2 men out. That brings up the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far on the day is 0 for 2, reached on air and scored in the first, was hit by a pitch in the second, and flew out in inning number 4. 2 men out here in the top of the 6th for the Wild Things. They have a runner at 3rd. Ricky Rodriguez, 25 RBIs on the year, looking to drive him in here in this one. Chris Chigos looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And Rodriguez takes this one for a strike on the inside corner, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things designated hitter. Ricky Rodriguez trying to drive in another run here with 2 men out. Chigos has his side. He's set in the 0-1 pitch. And Rodriguez, a slow roller to first. Kyle Wood handles it. He'll take it to the bag himself. And that's in time for out number 3. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on after the walk. After 5.5, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 6 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass is installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 6th. And the score, your Washington Wild Things 6 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 2. Zach Groats back out there for his 6th inning of work. Last inning, Windy City getting another run off of him as the inning started with a ground roll double by Larry Balkwell. Next batter, Taylor Smart lined out right to the first baseman, Justin Garcia, before John Williams singled, and Tim Zier came through with an RBI single. Balkwell came to score. That made the score 6-2. Next batter was Cody Kiefer. He would strike out, and Charlie Thurber grounded out to end the inning. Due up here in the 6th against Groats, Ransom Lalonde, Kyle Wood, and Blair Beck, the 5, 6, and 7 men, up against Zach Groats. So Groats in there for his 6th inning of work. His last outing was a 6th inning shutout against the Lake Erie Crushers. We'll see if he can go the complete game here against Windy City today. Stepping in to lead things off against him here in the bottom of the 6th, Ransom Lalonde. Lalonde so far 0 for 2. Lined out, got robbed of a base hit in that first at-bat on the line out, and then grounded out his 2nd time up. So 0 for 2 to this point. Zach Groats looking into his catcher, Kyle Pollock. Groats going through the signs, has one he likes. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that one's in there, or inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Want to know the count here on the Windy City shortstop. Out in the bullpen for Windy City, warming up Andrew Lowe. Here's the 1-0, and that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on Ransom Lalonde. Groats falling behind to start this inning. Groats has his sign, the 2-0. And that one's high for a ball. Count now goes to 3 balls and no strikes. Groats 3 straight balls to start this 6th inning. Groats trying to get through 6 here today. Has his sign. He's set in the 3-0. And that one's just outside ball 4. So the first walk of the day for Zach Groats. A leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 6th. And that has a man on for the Windy City Thunderbolts and nobody out. That'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Kyle Wood. Wood so far 1 for 2 in the ball game. Singled and scored a run in the 2nd and struck out in inning number 4. With that walk, it'll prompt action in the Washington Wild Things bullpen. Steve Solkowski getting ready to catch a bullpen session out there. Runner at first, nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Groats looking in, has his sign. He's set in the first pitch. And Wood pops this one up foul off to the left. Gonzalez giving chase, but he'll watch this one go back into the seats foul, and the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. Groats ahead here, Kyle Wood, no balls and a strike. It'll be Andrew Wick that grabs a glove and starts throwing out there for the Washington Wild Things. No balls, 1 strike, nobody out, bottom of the 6th. Groats looks into Kyle Pollock, has his sign, he's set in the 0-1. And Wood takes this one inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. That walk to Ransom alone, the first walk of the day for Zach Groats. Has been very good with control all season long, just his 9th walk of the year. Groats has his sign. He's set in the 1-1. And this one swung on a miss there by Kyle Wood. Count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on the Windy City first baseman, Wood. Last night's first baseman, Larry Balkwell, is behind the plate for game 1 of this doubleheader here today. Zach Groats looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Groats has one he likes. He's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And that one's high for a ball. Count goes to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and nobody out on Kyle Wood. Bottom of the 6th, 6-2. Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts here in this 7-inning game. Groats looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Kyle Wood strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. For Zach Groats, his 5th strikeout of the day here in 5 1/3 innings of work, and that'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Blair Beck. Beck so far 1 for 2, RBI double in the 2nd, and struck out in inning number 4. 1 man out here in this bottom of the 6th. 6-2 Wild Things lead. Zach Groats looking into his catcher, Kyle Pollock. Groats has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Blair Beck, batting from the right side. Beck out in center field here in this one. Played third base in last night's ball game. Zach Groats looks in, going through the signs. Checks the man at first, has one he likes, he's set, and the 1-0 offering. And a swing and a miss there by Beck, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Zach Groats still going strong here through 6 1/3 innings. Has kept his pitch count under 20 in every inning, as most pitches he threw his last inning when he threw 18. Zach Groats checks the runner at first, looks into his catcher Pollock now. Has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1. And this ball grounded foul into the Windy City dugout, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Beck out in center field. Blair Beck standing in there at 6'1", 190 from Midland, Texas, played for the Tampa Bay Rays organization a year ago. Zach Groats looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2 offering. And this ball fouled off to the stands and right. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Blair Beck. Righty Zach Groats trying to get through 6 here in this one. Andrew Wick warming up in the bullpen, just in case. Zach Groats looks in to Kyle Pollock, getting started with a leadoff walk to Ransom Lalone. Lalone, the runner at first base. Groats checks him over there, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this one swung on and missed. Blair Beck strikes out, and that's the second out here in this 6th inning. 6th strikeout of the day for Zach Groats, and that brings to the plate the catcher Larry Balkwill. Balkwill so far 1 for 2, grounded out in the 2nd and hit a ground ball double in inning number 5. 2 men out here in this bottom of the 6th, 6-2. Wild Things over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Balkwill batting from the right side against the righty Zach Groats. Andrew Lowe continues to warm up in the Windy City bullpen. Groats has his sign, he's set, here's the pitch. And that one's high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the first man. Groats faces with 2 outs to Larry Balkwill. Groats looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And Balkwill takes this one for a strike this time on the inside corner. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Larry Balkwill standing in there at 6'4", 210 from Chatham, Ontario, Canada, the Canadian native. Zach Groats looks in. Groats going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 1-1 now time is called by Larry Balkwill at the plate. Thought Groats was taking just a little bit too long on that one. Zach Groats in his first professional start here for the Washington Wild Things has not started in either the Astros organization or for the Wild Things this season, getting the first start here today. Groats has his sign, the 1-1, and Balkwill takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1. Groats has only walked 1 man through 5 2/3 innings of work. That man was in the beginning of this bottom of the 6th inning. That's Ransom Lalone over there at first base. Now time is called once again behind the plate by Kyle Pollock. Pollock wants to go through the signs once more. Groats and Pollock were not on the same page in the 3rd inning, and right now trying to get back on the same page with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Groats has his sign, and the 2-1. Balkwill checks his swing and takes this one on the outside corner for a strike. Count now going to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Groats trying to get through 6 here today, and then turn it over to the Wild Things bullpen. Runner at first, Ransom Lalone. He walked to lead off the inning. He takes his lead out there. Groats looks in. Has his sign, he's set, and the 2 ball, 2 strike offering. And this one fouled off by Balkwill back into the stands. Count remains 2-2. Balkwill just getting a piece of that one on the outside corner. Fighting Zach Groats here with 2 men out. 6th pitch of the at-bat coming between Zach Groats and Larry Balkwill. Groats looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. And the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this ball grounded softly to the left side. Gonzalez charging, he has. Throws on to first, and that's in time for out number 3. No runs in the inning for the Windy City Thunderbolts. No hits, no errors, and 1 man left on after the walk. After 6 innings of play, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 6, Windy City Thunderbolts 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 7th. And the score, your Washington Wild Things 6 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 2. New pitcher on for the Windy City Thunderbolts is now its right-hander Andrew Lowe. Lowe so far in the year, a record of 1-0, a 4.69 ERA. Appearing in his 22nd game, has thrown 23 innings of work, giving up 16 runs, 12 earned on 30 hits, 17 strikeouts, and 17 walks for Andrew Lowe on the season. Final line for the reliever, Chris Chigos. Chigos went 1 2/3 inning of work, did not give up a run, didn't even give up a hit, walked one, and struck out nobody on the day. He threw 27 pitches in his outing. Zach Broats has gotten through 6 innings, giving up just 2 runs for the Wild Things. So far has been very good on the day. Andrew Wick was warming up in the Wild Things bullpen in that bottom half of the 6th inning. Still up now, so he'll more than likely come in the 7th inning. So Groats, a very good start today against Windy City. Andrew Lowe on. Due up to face Lowe here in the top of the 7th. Dave Popkins, Alvaro Gonzalez, and Kyle Pollock, 4, 5, and 6, facing off against the righty Andrew Lowe. The starter for this game for Windy City was Brady Muller. Muller only went 4 1/3, gave up 6 runs, 5 of those earned on 8 hits, walked 1, and struck out 5 in his outing. Chigos, a scoreless outing out of the bullpen, and now Lowe on to face the Wild Things. Wild Things lead 6-2 here in the top of the 7th. Dave Popkins to the plate. Popkins so far on the day is currently 1 for 2, hit by a pitch his first time, fielder's choice his second time, and singled his third time. Here's the pitch, and Popkins takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things right fielder, batting from the left side against the righty Lowe. Lowe has his sign, the 1-0. And Popkins fouls this one back to the screen. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on the Wild Things right fielder, batting from the left side for the first time today against the righty Andrew Lowe. His first 3 at-bats, he faced lefties all day. Here's the 1-1. And Popkins takes this one high for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on the Wild Things right fielder. Dave Popkins standing in there at 6'3", 225 from San Diego. Here's the 2-1. And that one's high for a ball. Count now goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. 3-1 the count on the Wild Things right fielder. Nobody out here in this top of the 7th. Wild Things trying to add on before the bottom of the 7th. Here's the 3-1. And that one's a called strike. Count goes full to Popkins now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2. Nobody out top of the 7th. Wild Things last chance offensively to add on. Here's the 3-2. And fouled back by Dave Popkins, so the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Popkins getting a piece of that one. That one hitting just above the letters on Dave Popkins, able to get the top half of the bat on it and stay alive here against Andrew Lowe. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and nobody out. Looking in is Lowe. Lowe goes through the signs, and the 3-2 offering. And Popkins takes this one outside, ball 4, so a leadoff walk for Andrew Lowe. The Wild Things' second straight inning with a leadoff walk, and that'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Alvaro Gonzalez. Gonzalez so far on the day is 1 for 3, 3 RBI double in the first, struck out in the third, and hit into a fielder's choice in inning number 5. Nobody out top of the 7th. Dave Popkins, the runner over there at first. He walked to lead off the inning. Wild Things scored 4 runs in the first inning of this contest, and they've never looked back since that, leading 6-2 here in the 7th. The pitch, and Gonzalez hits this one towards left center field. In comes the center fielder Beck, and he'll make the catch, and that's good for out number 1. 1 away for the Wild Things here in the top of the 7th, and that'll bring to the plate their catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far in this one, 2 for 3, RBI single in the first, flew out in the third, and hit an RBI double in inning number 5, driven in 2 of his team's 6 runs here in this ball game. Stepping in now against the new pitcher, Andrew Lowe. Lowe gets 1 out here in this top of the 7th after getting Alvaro Gonzalez to fly out. Lowe has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Pollock takes this one for a strike at the letters, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things catcher. Will likely see Steve Solkoski, the backup, in game number 2 of this doubleheader. Although Pollock has caught in both games of a doubleheader before. Lowe has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And Pollock takes this one in the dirt. Count now goes even at 1-1. Larry Balkwell, nice job of blocking behind the plate. Infield at double play depth here. Kyle Pollock at the plate. Dave Popkins, the runner at first. Popkins walked to lead off the inning against Lowe. Lowe has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1. And Pollock lining this one into left field, and that'll fall for a base hit. That moves Popkins up to second. Now there's runners at first and second with one man out. Pollock's third hit of the day as he's on first, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Justin Garcia. Garcia so far 0 for 3. Struck out in the first, flew out in the third, and grounded out in inning number 5. 6-2. Wild Things trying to add on here in the top of the 7th. Garcia looking for his first RBI as a Wild Thing. Now would be a really good time to get one if he could. So lefty on righty matchup. Right-hander Andrew Lowe facing off against the left-handed batter Justin Garcia. Andrew Lowe looking into his catcher Larry Balkwill. Garcia stepping in. Runner at second, Dave Popkins. He walked to lead things off, and then with one out, Kyle Pollock singled. He's at first. Andrew Lowe has his sign, checks the runner at second, and the pitch on the way. And Garcia takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Justin Garcia. One man out in this top of the 7th inning. 6-2, Wild Things lead. Lowe has his sign, holds at the belt, checks Popkins at second, and the 1-0 offering. And Garcia pops this one up to the left side. That'll go foul, and the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on Justin Garcia, looking for his first run batted in as a Wild Thing. Collected his first hit as a Wild Thing in last night's ball game, a double in the second inning. Andrew Lowe looks in. Lowe going through the signs, has one he likes. He's set. Checks Popkins, the runner at second, and the 1 ball, 1 strike offering. And that one's outside for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 the count here on Justin Garcia. Garcia being patient early on in this at-bat. First time he's seen a righty here today, so gives him the advantage at the plate, as lefty-on-lefty matchups normally are not a good thing for the hitter. Andrew Lowe has his sign, checks the runner at second, the 2-1. And Garcia takes this one low for a ball. Count now goes to 3 balls and a strike on Garcia. And Andrew Lowe's been a little wild out of the Windy City bullpen. Has not been able to hit the strike zone consistently early on in this one. Andrew Lowe has his sign, checks the runner at second, and the 3-1. And Garcia hits this one to left field. Over to foul territory now. Taylor Smart by the seats. He leaps up and not going to make the catch as that one falls in the first row. And the count now goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count here on Justin Garcia. On deck man is Grant Fink. He will follow Garcia here in this top of the 7th inning. 6-2 Wild Things lead here over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Wild Things falling to the Thunderbolts 6-5 last night in Game 1. Andrew Lowe has his sign, checks the runner at second, and the 3-2. And this one grounded to second, handed over there by Tim Zier, goes to second for 1, on to first, and it's in time for the double play. That'll end the inning, 4-6-3, and the inning is over. No runs for the Wild Things on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 6.5, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 6, Windy City Thunderbolts 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whip Pill playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 7th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 6 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 2. New pitcher on for the Washington Wild Things. It'll be right-hander Andrew Wick. Wick so far in the year, a record of 2-1, 3 saves, a 4.26 ERA. Appearing in his 27th game, has thrown 31 2/3 innings of work, giving up 20 runs, 15 earned on 23 hits, 30 strikeouts, and 13 walks. The day is done for starter Zach Groats. Groats ends up going 6 in the ball game, giving up 2 runs. Both those runs earned on 6 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. Needed 89 pitches to get through 6 innings of work. So Andrew Wick on right now. Not a save situation. Wick does have 2 saves on the year, as he was the closer for the Wild Things to start the season. So Wick now on for the Wild Things. Do have to face him here in the bottom of the 7th. Last chance for Windy City. It'll be 9-1-2. Taylor Smart, John Williams, and Tim Zier facing off against Andrew Wick. Making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th. Third baseman Taylor Smart. Smart so far in the day, 0 for 2. Struck out in the 2nd. And lined out in inning number 5. Nobody out, bottom of the 7th, 6-2. Wild Things lead here over the Thunderbolts, trying to take a game here in this 3-game series. They lost game 1 by the score of 6-5, trying to bounce back and take game 1 of this doubleheader. Andrew Wick looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Smart takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Windy City Thunderbolts third baseman. Andrew Wick looking for a clean 7th inning to get his team their 36th victory. Wick has his sign, he's set, and the 1-0. And this one hit to center field. Andrew Heck back on it a couple of steps. He'll camp under it, and he'll make the catch, and that's out number 1. So quickly 1 up, 1 down for the Thunderbolts here in this bottom of the 7th, and that'll bring to the plate the left fielder, John Williams. Williams so far in this one, 2 for 3, grounded out in the 1st, doubled in the 3rd, and singled in inning number 5. 1 man out, bottom of the 7th, 6-2. Wild Things over the Windy City Thunderbolts. Andrew Wick trying to close out this game for your Wild Things. Wick looks into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs as John Williams stepping in. Williams replaced Coco Johnson in the top of the 2nd out in left field. Wick has his sign. Here's the pitch. And fouled back by Williams. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Windy City Thunderbolts left fielder. Andrew Wick out of the bullpen for the 27th time this season. 3rd most on the team behind Devin Davis and Zach Groats. Davis 30 appearances. Groats with today's outing 29 appearances. Wick has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1 offering. And Williams pops this one up in foul territory, and that'll go back into the seats, and the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Andrew Wick, 30 strikeouts in 31 2/3 innings of work, so doing very well in the strikeout department for the Wild Things. Just 1 strikeout under the number of innings he's thrown this season. Wick looks into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the no-ball 2-strike pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 man out. Bottom of the 7th, 6-2. Wild Things lead over the Windy City Thunderbolts. John Williams batting from the left side against the righty Andrew Wick. Wick looking in. Shakes off the first sign. Now has one he likes. He's set. Holds at the belt. And the 1 ball, 2-strike pitch. And this ball grounded to first. Justin Garcia will handle it, and now it's a fair ball off his glove, and John Williams will reach. We'll see if they give him a hit or if they charge Garcia with an error. Routine ground ball. They will give Garcia an error, so it's an E3 that allows a man to reach here in the bottom of the 7th, and that brings to the plate the second baseman, Tim Zier. Zier so far on the day is 1 for 3. Reached on an error in the 1st, lined out in the 3rd, and reached on an RBI single in inning number 5. 1 man out, bottom of the 7th. Wick allows a runner there on the error by Justin Garcia, as Wick will try to help out his defender. John Williams, the runner at first. 4 Williams on the year for Windy City, as we said, came in the 2nd inning in this ball game. 2 stolen bases in 27 games played. Wick checks him over there, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And this one's taken for a strike on the inside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Tim Zier, second baseman for the Windy City Thunderbolts. 6-2 Wild Things lead over the Thunderbolts. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Game 1 of this doubleheader. Andrew Wick has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1 offering. And Zier lines this one down the right field line. It's hooking, and it'll go foul into the Wild Things bullpen. And the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Tim Zier. 1 man out, bottom of the 7th. Last chance for the Windy City Thunderbolts. They're down by 4. Andrew Wick trying to close out this game in game 1 of the doubleheader. Runner at first is John Williams. Andrew Wick looking into his catcher, Kyle Pollock. Tim Zier batting from the right side against the righty Andrew Wick. Wick looks in, checks first, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 offering. And a swing and a miss. Wick strikes him out, and that's out number 2 here in the bottom of the 7th. Windy City now down to their last chance here, and that'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Cody Kiefer. Kiefer so far 0 for 3. Popped out in the first, grounded out in the third, and struck out in inning number 5. 2 men out in this bottom of the 7th inning. Wild Things looking for their 36th win of the year. Groats looking to pick up his 4th win of the season. Wick has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. Taking off for second is Williams. This one in the dirt, and Kyle Pollock can't get a handle on it, so Williams in there with a stolen base. Williams' 3rd stolen base of the year, and there's a runner at second now with 2 men out. 1-0 the count on Cody Kiefer. 1 ball, no strikes. Andrew Wick out of the bullpen for the Washington Wild Things. Relieving starter Zach Groats. Wick looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, no strike offering. And Kiefer takes this one for a strike at the knees. Count goes even to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Windy City's DH. Wild Things trying to pick up the win here in game 1 of this doubleheader. Wick looks into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. John Williams takes his lead from second. Wick has one he likes, checks him out there, and the 1-1. And this one fouled back to the screen. Count now going to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Windy City down to their last strike here in this ball game. Andrew Wick trying to pick up, wouldn't be a save, but trying to close out this game. Wick looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Williams takes his lead from second. Wick set, checks at the belt, and the 1-2 offering. And that one outside, Pollock able to block that one. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, 2 men out. Wind still blowing out to right field here at Standard Bank Stadium in Crestwood, Illinois. Andrew Wick looks into Kyle Pollock. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wick has his sign. He's set. Checks second, and the 2-2 offering. And a swing and a miss. Wick strikes him out, and you can put in the books your Washington Wild Things win. Final score, Wild Things 6, Windy City Thunderbolts 2. Wild Things take game 1 of this doubleheader, game 2 of this series, as they have evened it up at 1 game apiece. The winning pitcher, Zach Groats, goes to 4-2 on the year. The losing pitcher, Brady Muller, falls to 3-8. Keep it right here on the MSA Sports Network. When we come back, your Washington Wild Things postgame show. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Final score here in game 1 of this doubleheader. Your Washington Wild Things win 6-2 over the Windy City Thunderbolts. The winning pitcher, Zach Groats. Groats improves to 4-2 on the year. The losing pitcher, Brady Muller. Muller falls to 3-8 on the season. No save in this ball game. Scoring recap for you. The Wild Things scored early and often here in this one. Top of the first, right away, they got out to a 4-run lead. Andrew Heck single to lead things off. Then Austin Waldrock would strike out. Ricky Rodriguez would then reach on an error by third baseman Taylor Smart. That put runners at first and third with 1 man out before Dave Popkins was hit by a pitch to load the bases. Bases were loaded, 1 man out. And the big hit in that first inning, Alvaro Gonzalez coming through with a 3 RBI double. Heck, Rodriguez, and Popkins all scored, and the Wild Things took an early 3-0 lead. Next batter, Kyle Pollock, came up, and he came through with an RBI single. Gonzalez scored, and the Wild Things took a 4-0 lead in this ball game. Justin Garcia and Grant Fink would then strike out to end the inning. Wild Things would get, the Windy City Thunderbolts got on the board in the bottom half of the second inning of this one, down 4-0. First batter, Ransom Lalonde, lined out to the third baseman, Alvaro Gonzalez. Nice diving catch by Gonzalez on that one. Then Kyle Wood would single, and Blair Beck came through with an RBI double. Wood would come around to score, and that made it 4-1 Washington Wild Things. Larry Balkwell would ground out, and Taylor Smart would strike out to end the inning. Wild Things got back on the board in the top of the fourth, padding their lead. Grant Fink doubled to lead things off. Then Jamadrick Magruder would walk before Andrew Heck came through with an RBI single. Fink came around to score, and the Wild Things took a 5-1 lead here in this ball game. Wild Things back on in the top of the 5th. Dave Popkins singled to start things off. Then Alvaro Gonzalez hit into a fielder's choice before Kyle Pollock came through with an RBI double. Gonzalez came around to score. That made it 6-1 Washington Wild Things. That would be all for the starter Brady Mullers. Chris Chigos came in to relieve him. Chigos got Justin Garcia to ground out, and then Grant Fink grounded out to end the inning. Final line for the starter Brady Muller. Muller went 4 1/3, gave up 6 runs, 5 earned on 8 hits, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts through 85 pitches in his start here today. Then the Windy City Thunderbolts getting on the board in the bottom half of that 5th inning against Zach Groats. Larry Balkwell doubled to start things. Then Taylor Smart would line out. John Williams would single, and Tim Zier came through with an RBI single. Balkwell came around to score, and that made the score 6-2 Washington Wild Things. Cody Keefe would strike out, and Charlie Thurber would ground out to end the inning. Zach Groats was great in this ball game. Groats went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs, both earned on 6 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. Took him 89 pitches to get through 6 innings today. Then Andrew Wick came in for inning number 7. Dave Popkins walked to start things before Alvaro Gonzalez flew out. Kyle Pollock singled, and Justin Garcia hit into a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. That was the top of the 7th for the Wild Things, In the bottom of the 7th for Windy City, Taylor Smart flew out to start things. John Williams reached on an error. Tim Zier would strike out, and Cody Kiefer struck out to end the ball game. So the winning pitcher, Zach Groats, goes to 4-2. The losing pitcher, Brady Muller. Muller falls to 3-8 on the season. Totals here in this game for the Wild Things, they get the win, improving to 36-39 on the year. They had 6 runs on 9 hits and 2 errors in this ball game. The Windy City Thunderbolts losing in this one. Their record falls to 36-39. Their totals, 2 runs on 6 hits and 3 errors in the ball game for them. The winning pitcher, Zach Groats, goes to 4-2. The losing pitcher, Brady Muller. Muller falls to 3-8 on the year. Full slate of action here in the Frontier League today. Well, a couple other doubleheaders, not just the Wild Things and Thunderbolts playing a doubleheader. Other doubleheaders going on today. In Joliet, in 7 innings, the Joliet Slammers defeated the Traverse City Beach Bums 7-1. And in Florence, the Florence Freedom took care of the Gateway Grizzlies 6-2. Game 2 of the doubleheader between Traverse City and Joliet going on right now. Traverse City currently leads that one 10-1 over Joliet. The Wild Things will see Traverse City in their next series Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. River City and Normal are scoreless in the bottom of the 2nd. Lake Erie's defeating Schaumburg 1-0 there in the top of the 5th there. And Southern Illinois and Evansville are scoreless in the bottom of the 1st. Schaumburg and Lake Erie will play Game 2 of their doubleheader later on tonight. But final score in this one, Wild Things win 6-2. Game 2 of this doubleheader coming up in about a half hour as Chase Cunningham takes the hill for your Washington Wild Things. He'll be opposed by Clay Chapman for the Windy City Thunderbolts. Chase Cunningham getting a win, breaking a 4 straight start losing streak. So trying to improve again and start a winning streak here for him in that game. Clay Chapman on the mound opposing him for Windy City. So about a half hour away from start time here in Game 2 of this doubleheader. So go take a break, go get something to eat, go to the bathroom, and come right back for more Washington Wild Things baseball. Final score here in Game 1, your Wild Things 6 and the Windy City Thunderbolts 2.
MSA Sports. Press 1 to resume or 3 to end broadcast. Your broadcast has been ended.